Yo, what's up, everyone? It's Legacy Shinobi here, back with another What If that's packed with drama, action, and an epic journey of redemption. Today, we're diving into what if Naruto was framed for a heinous crime and found peace outside Konoha. An unforgettable Naruto redemption story. In this tale, Naruto finds himself falsely accused of a crime that shakes the faith of his friends and comrades in him. Abandoned and betrayed by the very people he swore to protect, Naruto leaves Konoha behind, disillusioned but determined to carve out a new life. Along the way, he discovers unexpected allies, hidden power, and a renewed sense of purpose. But when fate draws him back into the shinobi world, will Naruto prove them all wrong and rise above the pain of his past? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic what-ifs. Alright, let's dive straight into the story. Namake's household. You see two children training with their parents, but weren't they supposed to be three? Yes, there was one more in his room looking at the family. This young one was none other than our protagonist Naruto. Uzumaki Namake's, or Yuzuke's, can be seen watching from a window copying all the moves he can see in his mind, as this is how he trained was indirectly thanks to Adam's divine reflection, aka the proper Sharingan, as it was the first ability he unlocked due to the longing to train. Tusan, can I please train with you all? He begged with pleading eyes. No, you don't have the Nine Tails power, and you are weak. Memnus said. He is right, Naruto, you are weak compared to your brother and sister. Minato said. But, no buts, screamed Minato. Get out, Naruto. You made Dad mad, idiot brother. Screamed Naruto. Naruto sighed and left the house to go for a walk as he started to give up trying to make a relationship with his family. But Minato told him to be back before dinner, so they can talk about something important. Naruto nodded, but inside, he was happy he could talk to his family and be wanted. As he was walking, ignoring the glares and dirty looks, since he was talking to Son about ways they could slow down the training, so his father doesn't find out his extraordinary talents, he heard some boys bullying a girl with white eyes and blue-brown hair, calling her a freak and whatnot, so he did what any child would do, scare them with a dragon mask. Hey, you okay? Asked Naruto as he gave his hand for her to take. Thank you. I'm fine, she said shyly as she took his hand to stand up. What are you doing out in the cold winter crying? Naruto asked. It's because my clan thinks I'm weak and my father doesn't talk to me. The girl cried. My family thinks I'm weak too, but that's no reason to cry, because then we are proving them right. Oh, and my name is Naruto, and yours? Naruto asked. I'm Hinata Hyuga Dash. You mean the Hyuga heiress? Naruto interrupted Hinata. Yes, that's why I'm called weak, since I don't reach their high expectations, she said shyly. Then why don't we prove both our families wrong and show them how strong we are? Naruto exclaimed with $1,000,000 smile. She saw a new fond ray of hope and someone who actually believed in her. Hinata, there you are. What are you doing with this child? Hi, she said with disgust and annoyance. He took her without saying a word to the boy as they left Naruto there all alone. Why am I not surprised? He sighed as he made his way back home. Naruto POV. I'm home, father, mother, I said sarcastically, since they never acknowledged my presence. Welcome back, Naruto. Your father and siblings are waiting for you at the dinner table. Dinner will be done soon. I nodded since they always forgot me, and I had to cook for myself. This was a nice change since I was tired of cooking for myself. I sat by the chair next to my dad and Minma, quietly ate so not to cause unnecessary drama, and waited for Dad to start why he called us all down and why it's so important. I'm sure you're all wondering why I called you all here. Am I wrong? Minato asked, in which we all nodded in response. I want to tell you what happened on your birth, otherwise known as the QB incident. After the explanation, I was livid one because I saw why everyone hated me, and for something so idiotic and irrational annoyed me to no end. But I had to make it look like I was crying and hiding my annoyance, sniffing. Is that why everyone hates me? Naruto has always been incapable and disgusts me being related to him. Minma shouted angrily. I was surprised at what Minma. Yeah, I knew he hated me being older, but to go as far as to say that annoyed me to no ends. But there is another thing we want to tell you, that is there has been a prophesy about the child of prophesy, who will face a great danger. And if the child is neglected and hated, he will destroy, and if he is loved and taken care of, he will save the world. With a being known as Ragnarok as his guardian who surpasses him. The child will be of the red hot-blooded habanero and yellow flash. Kushina said, I understood that I was Ragnarok since I was told / showed the record of Ragnarok by Buddha himself, but it never specified who the kid of prophesy was between Naruto and Minma. We know you will meet this Ragnarok eventually, but that's why we will be upping your training. So we will be prepared if you have to be prepared to face this mysterious enemy. So we will be sending you to the academy with Naruto. You learn how to be a ninja. Minato said with excitement. I was happy since I could become a ninja, since I can finally let out my skills. Sure, I have to do it slowly, but still, I have to act weak for now. That is all I wanted to tell you. You will be going tomorrow, so prepare for tonight, then go to bed. Minato said, since I finished and washed the dishes I used to eat, I went to sleep processing the information that I've been overloaded with. I really do hope I get banished one of these days, foreshadowing, because of how stupid some people are, and I do hope they become humble, or else we're doomed. I went to my room, fell on my bed, and went to sleep. No one's POV. Naruto woke up, did his morning routine, changed into his standard clothing, and waited for his siblings. How long do I have to wait for the children to prophesy? Naruto thought, slightly annoyed, as he honestly thought that they would be earlier than him, since they wanted to be shinobi more than anything. Tusen, where is Minma and Naruto? He asked just to make sure they didn't leave him. Oh, they are still changing, so you can go to the academy without them. They'll take a while. No thanks, as and I have to wait for my younger siblings. He couldn't lie, he was extremely annoyed with how tardy his siblings were. Sadly, he decided to stay so they could walk together to avoid the glares from ninjas and civilians. Sorry we took so long, Tusan and Nii-san. Minma and Naruto said in unison. It's alright now, we can get going to the academy. Minato said excitedly. Yeah. Naruto, Minma, and Naruto shouted excited. Time skip, brought to you by Buddha vs. Sun Wukong. The class was talking amongst each other until their teacher had a brown ponytail and a scar going through the upper part of his nose came and used his big head just to quiet down the class. Good morning, class. My name is Irika Yumino. Since this is the first time you all are here, let's begin with introducing each other. Then, we will begin with the classwork. All the Konoha 13 are in the same class for plot. Time skip to after school. Naruto was kept to himself since no one wanted to talk with him, so he was just writing how to interpret Taekwondo with chakra to make it more powerful until Hinata and his siblings decided to call him over since they felt bad for him, so they called him to join their group that is called the Konoha 13. Guys, this is my Nii-san Naruto, Mima said, smiling. Hello. Nice to meet you all. Naruto said, slightly nervous. Everyone else also said hello till he asked, hey, what were you writing? I was actually trying to make a taijutsu of my own, but I have only made one move, sadly. He said, scratching his cheek. Can you show me? Lee asked, excited. Sure, try to block, he said, and Lee did. Everyone was actually shocked and impressed since this move is basically a guard breaker that can leave you to attack without having to worry about attacking yourself. That was really cool. Can you teach to me? Asked Lee excitedly. First, let me finish making it, then I'll teach you, said Naruto. But it does show a lot of potential and could be an amazing taijutsu, but how does it work? Sakura asked. Sure, I call this move Renewal Taekwondo. Ho hook. So the taijutsu's name is Renewal Taekwondo. It's a weird name, but okay. Naruto could sense there were another reasons and could also tell that he is making them uncomfortable, but played oblivious to it. Yeah, I sort of get it. It's a real tongue twister, but that's just how I like it, he said with a smile while he was thinking. They're trying to get me to say something. Is it possible that they know that I took the forbidden jutsu scroll, even though I put it back after a few hours? Or they're trying to find out more of my secrets? Let's be safe and just stay with the taijutsu since if I tell them about my Keka Genkais, I'm as good as dead. As time goes on, they seem to be getting along and look as if they have grown to like, but Naruto knew better. His ability to see feelings made it hard for them to pry into other topics, so wasn't stupid to tell about his true strength and would only stick with his potential taijutsu. As time went by discussing classwork, their parents came by picking their children but would always send a glare to Naruto, who would brush it off till his parents came. How was the academy? Kushina asked her children. It was alright, thanks, and did you know Naruto is making his own taijutsu? Naruto said. This shocked both parents since they didn't know he was. Is this true? Minato asked, shocked yet curious. Yeah, I kinda wanted to make myself known, and what better way than to make a taijutsu? he said nervously. I see. Can you show me your progress then? Minato asked, curious. Sure. I'll show you back at home. They went home to see how the taijutsu and discuss what they learned at school. We see Naruto at a forest as he sat down to meditate. But that's what it looked like on the surface as he entered a dream-like landscape where 13 people were present. You took your sweet time arriving, growled Lu as he bowed a little unnerved. Sorry, it's pretty hard to lose Umbu and get here at the same time, he said with a nervous sweat. But you did get here, so let's continue, said Buddha as the staff of 6 realms appeared in both Naruto and him. We will begin training with combat of the Volundar, he said as they ran towards each other. Narrator POV. As time went by, Naruto gradually got more and more comfortable with the Konoha 13 as they stopped being hostile and actually stopped treating him like a mission assigned by the 4th Hokage and as a friend. Flashback. I would like to assign you all a very important mission. Earlier today, someone was able to bypass the Forbidden Scroll seals and learn the justice, but placed it back before anyone arrived. I believe it is to be related to Naruto, so try to be his friends and find out what he is hiding, and if he knows who is the perpetrator of this great crime. He said, but little did he know, there was a voice recording seal under the stool of his desk that confirmed his suspicions. End of flashback. Today is the final day in the academy, for hopefully all of you pass, Irika said as everyone nodded. Now let's begin, Irika exclaimed. For the first test, it is the examination. Time skip. Now for the shuriken and kunai throw. Kunai 5/shuriken 10. Kiba, May 7th. Hinata, May 7th. Mema, May 9th. Naruto, May 9th. Naruto, May 9th. I'm pretty sure you get the picture. They passed. And now they are Genin. Time skip. Congratulations on becoming Venin. Here are the teams. Team 7. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Minma Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. Your senseis are Kakashi Hitaki and Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. Team 8 is Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akimichi, and Ino Yamanaka Sense is Asuma Sarutobi. Team 9 is still in circulation. They skipped a grade. Team 10. Kiba Inazuki, Hinata Hyuga, and Shino Aburame. Your sensei is Kurani Ayui. I wish you all good luck, as this is the beginning of your now lives as shinobi. You senseis will pick you all up in a few minutes, so once again, good luck. He left as soon sensei after sensei started coming and picking up their teams as only Team 7 was left. Damn it, where is Oka-san and Kakashi-sensei, said an irritated Menma. Mama, they should be here. Soon, just be patient, my little Ototo, said a smiling Naruto as Menma blushed a little from the nickname from his Ani-san. Shut up, said a blushing Menma as Naruto and Naruto were barely able to keep in their laughter from exploding from seeing the future Hokage turn into a blushing mess from a small nickname. But before they could release their laughter, their senseis arrived as Kushina was pulling on Kakashi's ear, as was reading his Aika book out in public, as suddenly it burned in front of his face by the one and only Naruto, smiling with ninja wire around his fingers, and said, please don't be a perv in front of impressionable children, and do it in the closet, or I'll burn the rest. I smiling as they were all barely able to contain the laughter, but failed miserably as they saw the colors drain of Kakashi's body as he was crying in a corner mourning over his book being burnt. Thank you, my Masuko, and meet us on the roof, as Kushina, Kakashi, and Naruto shunch into the roof, which shocked both of them. Since when could you do that? Pretty cool, right? I asked Shursway to teach me a few months ago. It's a half-truth. I figured the mechanics out in a few minutes. I just needed an alibi, he thought as he remembered the torture that is studying with Nikola Tesla. I see, said Kakashi, taking our another Aika book, being very cautious of Naruto. They waited for the rest of the team arrived, who were shocked that he was first, but recover when Kakashi said to introduce themselves. I'm Naruto Yuzukaze, I'm 14. I like my family, sweets, cooking, and training. I dislike Kumo, abusers, idiots, and traitors. My goal is to become stronger than Madara and the Hokages combined. My actual goal is to build a family and relax for the rest of my days. He thought to himself as he made his goal seem impossible on the surface, but this goal would act as motivation for any improvement that come to light. So this goal shocked everyone as they thought it was impossible. Right, my name is Minma Yuzukaze. I like ramen, training, and my family. I dislike waiting for ramen to cook. Bastards and traitors, my goal is to become the Hokage, said a proud Minma as Naruto. Just giggle as next was, okay, my name is Naruto Yuzukaze. I like training, Reading, my family, and ramen. I don't like waiting for ramen to cook in traders. Naruto said excitedly, then, my name is Sakura Haruno. I like looks at Sasuke. My family and friends, I dislike fangirls, and my goal is to looks at Saki and giggles, I mean become a strong and powerful kunoichi. She's a fangirl, and that's going to be a problem cause they might blame me for her incompetence, but at least she can control it. Okay, my name is Kushina Yuzukes. I like my kids and husband, ramen and missions. I don't like Kakashi late attitude and books, and my goal is to see my children become strong warriors. Hi, my name is Kakashi Hitaki. I like is none of your business. Dislike is none of your business, and goal is none of your business, said a eye-smiling Kakashi. We only learned his name, said all of them, sweat dropping at their sense. All right, Gakis, tomorrow we will do the bell test. So word of advice, don't eat, you might puke. They said left now, leaving the now new Genin team. Okay guys, just eat, said Naruto. Sakura tried to disagree with Naruto, to which Naruto covered his ears, saying that he's a censor type for a reason. It's because we would be a lot weaker if we were starving, meaning it would be a lose-lose situation, might as well bring our A game. Reasons Naruto as they all thought about it as he left to train. Sidio, you think he actually stole the forbidden scroll to make himself stronger? Asked Sakura as they thought about it. If he could have gotten his hands on the forbidden scroll, his power would have most likely skyrocketed. We don't know for sure, let's wait for tomorrow's team exercise and see what he is made of, said Minma as they gnawed, going their separate ways. So after all this time, they still think I took the scroll even after the taijutsu, he thought as he had an annoyed expression. He soon teleported back to his original position, as this was an after-image justice he made while using chakra to make an apparition of him. He began using the basic taijutsu technique he acquired from other taijutsu styles he saw, and then wrote in his book. I can't believe the Hokage thought it'd be smart if he told a bunch of umbu that hate my guts to watch for anything suspicious. He thought as he walked to a lake, walking to the middle, and sat down to meditate. I already have Kage level chakra control, so even if I can enter my mindscape and fight, and they won't be able to tell. He thought, inwardly smirking as he met Nicola in his study. Welcome back, Naru. Come, we have more theories about chakra, so let us begin. He shouted as Naruto sighed, this is going to be a long teeing session. The next day, we see the new Team 7 waiting for their senseis as they were fully powered for not skipping breakfast. But Naruto was sore on his leg. Damn, old head had to kick that hard, he grumbled. Flashback. Welcome, my child. We will be testing your grit and determining the limit of the eyes of the Lord, he said as he nodded, activating Yodiel as they began. They serve to copy the body must dodge, he said as he sent a quick jab which he barely dodged. 0-1, keep pushing as your body develops, so does your reaction time, he said, sending 5 more as they were all faster than the last. 0.01, skill plays an important role, and so does timing. Even the mighty lion can be put down with an attack at the right moment, he said as he fist combusted, sending 50 more. 0.00001. Shit is taking all I have to dodge, got a thin dash to divine axe, he said, hitting the leg, bending it in an unruly fashion. Shit, he mumbled in agony as he fell down. Good work, you have gotten better. It best you get home, my child, he said with a smirk as Naruto glared at him. Into flashback. Great, now that you are here, it's time to begin the bell test, shouted Kushina. The rules are as stated, you should get one of these 4 bells, and if you don't have one, you will have to go back to the academy. Now scatter, she said as before they could complain about what would happen if they failed, they scatter, leaving only Naruto, who was stretching to only start circling around Kakashi, leaving after images. How is he that fast, such a young age, said a shocked Kakashi and Kushina. This left the Genins jealous at how effective and fast Naruto was. As suddenly this happened to Kakashi. Taekwondo third stance. This single attack froze all of them. This single attack was on target and would have knocked out Kakashi with a concussion to boot if he didn't substitute with a log having a cold sweat. What the hell was that? It was like an omnidirectional attack that would have been a sure win attack if that connected. Thought Kakashi, breathing at an unnatural pace. Damn it, I forgot you could do that, but Axe stopped Naruto as his leg was in pain from the attack due to his non-flexible body forcibly doing an attack he misinterpreted, so he fell. Are you okay, Naruto? Asked Kakashi, worried. It's still a work in progress, so yeah, recoil still hurts a lot, reassured Naruto. I can't compete, so I'll sit this out and not hurt my leg more than before. The senseis nodded, so he sat down while bandaging his ankle, because the real reason to why his leg hurt was because of the divine axe he got from Adam a month ago still hurt. So they planned to attack the sensei Kakashi because he was more tired. so they teamed up on him. Here we go, wind style. Wind bullet, shouted Minma with Sasuke shouting fire style. Fireball jutsu, to which combined making a stronger fireball with Naruto and Sakura ambushing him with multiple kunai from all directions. This impressed Kakashi as their teamwork was a little sloppy, but still good as they worked together. So after the test, as they were all sitting with Naruto with his bandaged ankle, as he was praising their teamwork talent, their combination attack, burning kunai storm as they liked the name, as their sensei come with glares. "You pass," said Kushina, with a sudden change of tone, shocking everyone except Naruto, who explains. "Well, I did kind of figure it out yesterday, saying that it's almost impossible for a Genin to beat Jonin. But you almost beat Kakashi. Yeah, by surprise, I had to move around with him thinking I plan on just attacking from behind, cause even I know it won't work," said Naruto. "Oh yeah, what was that? It was first like whoosh, then heya, then there was a boom," said Naruto, basically smothering Naruto to the point where he chopped her head. "Well, for one, it's called Taekwondo third stance, where I hit someone the right or left side of their head, then kick on the opposite side on where I kick first, then at the back of the head," explained Naruto. "Then why are you hurt?" asked Sasuke. "Well, for Taekwondo to be effective, you have to be flexible to bend 300 degrees at minimum," said Naruto, as this made everyone unconsciously touch their back, because that would be painful. "I see. Okay, well, congratulations, kids, you passed. So now you can go home, Naruto. I'm going to report to Lord Hokage, so you are in charge while we're gone," said Kushina, as Minma and Naruto complained, saying they were old enough to take care of themselves. They shrugged as they shunned shine to the Hokage Tower. "Team 7 pass," said Kakashi. "Could you please explain?" asked Minato. "Well, in terms of teamwork, the 4 of them are very skilled," said Kushina. "You said 4, what are the 5? asked Kurenai. "The 5 is Naruto," Kakashi said. "Did Naruto fail?" said Minato, frowning. "Oh no, he passed as well, but he is by far the strongest among the 5, said Kakashi. This shocked everyone as they thought he was at least weaker compared to Sasuke or his siblings. Well, to put simply, he has high Jonin level speed, and what more terrifying is the way he almost beat with a single attack, said Kakashi, smiling. "Please explain," said Minato. From his own word, he calls it Taekwondo third stance. It's like an omnidirectional attack that has a ricochet effect, as he will attack on the opposite side of where he just hit previously, then a final attack to the back of the head, said Kakashi, explaining the technique in his own words. "I see. Well, anyways, keep an eye on Naruto. He might have some more techniques in store for us," he said as he nodded. He left, leaving only him and Kushina. Let's hope for the best, because if Naruto teaches his siblings this power, they could become the strongest, lifting our chances of survival exponentially, but no, this is his choice, said Minato, as he was feeling a little guilty for thinking like that. Though he is strong, let's hope he doesn't get a big head, laughed Kushina, as she knew Naruto as a humble person. "Yes, let's hope. Anyways, I'm almost done and we'll be home, so go watch the kids," he said to his wife as she left. We see Naruto at his usual meditation spot, as he sensed someone strong in the capital outskirt of the daimyo. He left an apparition as he teleported a distance away, seeing a red-haired teen a few years older than him preparing an attack on the capital. "It's time you die," he said, but before he could cast it, he felt a punch so strong it sent him flying out the borders. What was that? He thought as he was panting and his vision was blurry. It felt like getting hit by a mountain. He rasped as the cavity in his chest was healing. "I see a fellow Uzumaki," said Naruto as he approached him slowly, since he knew he had full control with the gloves of empowerment. "You," he gasped as he felt the aura change around him. "I may not like being led, but I'll make sure you have a peaceful death," he said as he grabbed a stone as it glowed green, before flicking it at incredible speed. Before it could kill him, it went through him. "Huh," he asked as he saw him sink into the ground before he was gone. What just happened? He wondered as he couldn't dwell on it as he unsummoned his gloves before returning to his apparition and returning home. "Team are ready?" "Ready," said Naruto and Sakura. "Team B ready, said Sasuke and Minma. "Team C is ready," said Kakashi and Kushina. They were on a mission to catch Tora the cat as Naruto was doing deliveries around Konoha. Soon the surrounding him as when the 4 Genin jumped on it. It jumped on top of the pile as it ran away. "Damn it, we were so close," said Minma. "Oh hey, you guys still trying to catch the cat?" said Naruto, as they could hear the sarcasm in his voice. Well, maybe if my big brother wasn't on his as dash language, interrupted Naruto. Sorry, maybe if you were helping us we would have caught him, said Naruto. Well, since you asked so nicely whistles, he will be here in a moment, said Naruto. Do you think that will work? Asked Sasuke sarcastically as soon he ate his word when a cat jumped on Naruto, going into his hands while purring and rubbing herself on him. You were saying? He laughed as he saw Sasuke glare at him. All right, you two, let's get to the Hokage Tower. I take it you completed all your missions? He said to Naruto as he was doing 10 D-rank missions at the same time. Yep, all done, bringing us to 41 D-rank missions, said a smiling Naruto. Okay, seeing as how you have done the required amount of missions, we will give you a C-rank mission. Please come in, said Minato as a man with sake in his hand as he was drunk. So this is the bodyguards I'm stuck with, only combatant one is the tall blonde boy asterisk points at Naruto asterisk, said the bridge builder as this is Tizuna. I assure you that they are all good for this mission, said Minato. As Naruto took his sake. You were saying? She asked as Naruto bonked her on the head. Apologies to Tizuna-sama, but we will have to leave so we can prepare, said Naruto formally. This shocked them all, as they never heard him talk in a formal manner. He learned this when he was still heir, but gave it up as he completed Buta's training, as he saw it as a shackle to being free, as his parents were okay with it, as they did spare some time to teach him the responsibilities of being heir. They could use that time to train them. Very well, guys, go prepare for mission, said Kakashi as he saw Naruto leaving already. This could be interesting, Gabe. I could find info on that Rinnegan fellow. He did have similar chakra. I just didn't notice at the time. He thought as he sighed, annoyed with how easily unidentified people like him are roaming around. Time skip. Welcome, Jinin, to the Konoha gates. So what have you brought? I bought some kunai, shuriken, pre-cooked food, water, a map, and some sealed tents, said Naruto. I brought some kunai, shuriken, some armor, a lot of ramen, and my dad's kunai, said Menma as Kushina took the 3-pronged kunai as she put it away. I brought some kunai, shuriken, ramen, and some extra clothes, said Naruto. I brought some kunai, shuriken, and tags, said Sasuke. I brought some rope, kunai, shuriken, some tags, and 5 pairs of clothes and makeup, she said as Naruto facepalmed that they all forgot to get some scrolls as he sighs. Lucky for us, I brought some extra storage scrolls since you forgot to get some yourselves, he said, giving his slightly embarrassed teammates an extra scroll to seal the items away. Soon they were on the move. As they were walking, he with Kakashi and Kushina saw through the Jinjutsu as they were on guard as he took out some explosive tag shuriken, which transformed into candy balls. He accidentally dropped them. Damn it, they were my only pack, he said, sulking as they all stopped for a second to help Naruto, as only the senseis saw through the Kamawari as they saw his plan. After picking them all up, they were about to continue till the demon brothers jumped out and killed the senseis. Boom, said Naruto as the candy balls for mist exploded, obscuring their vision as they heard fire style. Fireball Gestu. As Naruto, Menma, and Sasuke shot 3 fireballs as Naruto and Sakura threw some explosive kunai behind, as this caused an explosion, shocking the senseis and Tizuna because of its destructive power. You can come out, senseis, said Naruto as they came, and praised them for their good combo attack. Now we at a crossroad, as those people are the demon brothers, meaning Zabuza is with them as well, said Kakashi as Tizuna explained what has been happening at Wave. Please help us, begged Tizuna as Naruto helped him up. Then let's go. Senseis, I know I can't make decisions, but I can't turn my back on someone who needs help. You can punish me later, but please, I want to finish this mission, said Naruto, bowing as he had a clone go ahead if they said no. I can't let the dobe outshine me, so I'm with him, said Sasuke, smirking as they all agreed. Very well, but Naruto, after this you will do 20 D-rank missions after this, said Kushina as Naruto nodded. The let's go to Wave, she said as they nodded. As they were walking, Naruto explained why the small village like Wave don't have ninja to his group as soon they hit the dock. Hello, Tizuna. Thank goodness you brought reinforcements, said a boat's men as they all got in the boats. They were able to get to the other side as the boat men rowed faster as they thought it was because they might be saved. Guys, this fog is unnatural, so keep your eyes peeled, said Naruto as he had some kunai on a moment's notice. He instinctively threw one in a direction. Kakashi went to see what he threw at as it was a bunny. See, calm down there, nothing dangerous, said Naruto as she calmed down. That type of bunny doesn't go outside in this weather. A substitution, just to, I guess he does deserve to be called the demon of the mist. He thought as he glanced at the direction of a mist umbu. Get down! Shouted Naruto, Kakashi, and Kushina as they heard a sound of a whistle as a large blade came flying through the air coming at them. Naruto went towards the blade with a kunai in his hands as he put it in angle with his body, included to kill the momentum, and change the direction as this made whoever it was to throw, to catch it as it was revealed to be Zabuza Momoichi, the demon of the mist. It seems like you have some skills, kids. It's not every day someone deflects the blade, Kokuroboko, he said, releasing bloodlust as Kushina and Kakashi were in their battle stances as they were ready to attack. What brings you here, Zabuza? Asked Kakashi as he was waiting for a response. The old man's head no biggie, so hand him over, and there won't be any trouble, he said with he heard none of them agree to his request. Soon, the battle began as Naruto was waiting for an opening to show up to join the battle as he was the strongest among the genin. Wait for the moment before striking, he thought, but he didn't have to wait long as he opened when he was casting a Justu, so when it was about to be released he threw the custom-made explosive kunai. Do you really think that a pathetic kunai is enough to beat me? He said towards Naruto. No. Why, it's going to hurt, he said as the kunai he caught blew up, making an explosion, damaging him by a lot, as this had 5 superpowered explosive tags that nearly blow his hand of only damaging it to the point where he can't use it. Now he is at a disadvantage as that means he can't use his sword, but before they can capitalize he was hit by Sinbon planted into his neck, making him drop like a puppet with a string cut off. I thank you for weakening him for me, as I have after him for weeks. Now I will be taking care of him, and thank you again, he said before vanishing, making Naruto drop on the ground, followed by Kakashi, and then Kushina, as this was an exhausting battle. Tazuna, is there a place we can stay to rest? Asked Naruto as he picked up Kakashi with Minma and picked up Kushina. Right, my house is close by, follow me. Time skipped to the next day. We see Team 7 outside as they were doing the tree walking exercise. Naruto was meditating as he was doing mental training as he was meditating till. Naruto, you who has attempted to harass Hinata and compromising the village of Konoha, you will be sent to death, said Minato. He snapped out of it with a cold sweat he saw was late in the noon. Did I see into the future if I did? Is that my fate? No, I will not suffer this injustice. If they don't want me, then I'll leave. But I have to do it when that time comes. Fake my death, thought Naruto grimly, making multiple justice to make a clone that can be killed, as he just walked up and entered the house to only hear, you don't know what the real world is. Gato can't be beat, so just give up, shouted Inari as Naruto, just telling Kushina that he wants to do some late training. She said okay, as he said goodnight to them all as he makes some justice seals that would not affect the clone, making a real Naruto. He did this till he fell asleep, till he felt some pairs of lips ape on his as he saw someone girl was in front of him and kissing. But shockingly kissed back, shocking the girl. I'm so sorry. I didn't know if you were awake. I didn't mean to. I slipped and then fell on you. I dashed. She stopped as he put his hand on her lips. Calm down. I know it was an accident, mutters. Kinda liked it. She blushes as she heard it, but it's okay. Besides, that's unimportant. What are you doing here? Oh, right. I'm Naruto, by the way, asked Naruto. I'm Haku. I came here to get some herbs to help someone important to me. She said, I'll help you with getting the herbs, and since you didn't ask, I came here to train my justice on the next level, he said, smiling as she knows something felt wrong with that statement. So she frowned. Why do I feel like you're lying to me? She said, frowning as this hurt Naruto. This is probably the dumbest thing I might do, but I'm preparing a Justu to fake my death, said Naruto as this shocked Haku. Why would you do that? Asked Haku. He explained his premonition about him being executed, and this saddened her. I told my little secret time to tell yours, Miss Mistumbu, said Naruto as this shocked Haku as she prepared to battle. Calm down. We are keeping this conversation between each other, said Naruto as she calmed down a bit. So tell me about yourself, he said as she sighed but told him her story nonetheless. I see. Well, seeing how we are going to be battling each other soon, let's hope we both survive this, and maybe Il Kuka some lunch, he said, smiling as she smiled, picking up the basket and nodding, then left. So it's time to face her, but just to be safe activates the 8th conscious, and let's put a Jin Justu. Places a thing just to conceal his eyes. Now I'm ready, he says as he goes downstairs to see. Come on now, the faster you take off your clothes, the safer your child is, said a bandit with a perverted look in his eyes. Naruto snapped and summoned the six-wheel staff as it turned into its sword form and cut them both in half. What I hate more than anything are fakes and rapists. Looks at Tsunami, you okay? Said Naruto, only looking at her head as she took off her top. Asterisk blushes asterisk, I'm alright. Thank you so much for saving me and Inari, said Tsunami as she placed her shirt back. No problem. Just keep this weapon between you and me as they don't know, and I want to keep it that way, said Naruto as he unsummoned it as she nodded. Alright, time to fight, said an excited Naruto as he went to the bridge. At the bridge, he came to see Haku running to save Zabuza from Kakashi Chidori as he decided to put that clone he made days ago useful as he hinged into Buta and switched places, and he jumped in front of the Chidori, catching it with his bare hand. Now that shouldn't be aimed at a child who has a life ahead of her, said Naruto as this shocked everyone there. Now let's get this straight. I'm not a shinobi. I'm just passing by. But that is not important. The important thing is that Lil Goblin and his army of idiots, he said, pointing to the mist as they saw in front of them to see Gato and his hired arms. So you figured it out, congrats. You won't survive this anyways, so kill them all, but leave the girls, we can have fun with them, he said, grinning as Naruto snapped as he took out a kunai and threw at all the mercenaries that transformed into Naruto. Fire style, fireball justu, shouted all the Naruto clones as this killed a good amount of people. He ran to kill the rest as Zabuza, Kushina, Kakashi, and Haku followed suit, kill the rest. Naruto, are you okay? Asked Kushina as this was the first time he killed or that she saw. I'll be fine, Mom. I will have to kill someone eventually, and I might as well do it to protect myself and comrades, said the Naruto clone, feeling a little guilty. He saw some of the people he killed had families and were the providers. Please don't kill me. I'll give you anything, money, land, women, anything, begged Gato. Sign these papers and we are square, said Naruto. Alright, signs papers there, you won't kill me, right? He asked as he smiled. Me? No, I won't, that they will, he said, pointing towards the people of Wave. Here's some meat, boys, so have at it, he said, throwing Gato at them. He was brutally beaten and killed for all the pain. Here's 1 billion Rio. Bring this village on the map, he said, giving him a large bag. Here is your payment, 500 million Rio, so you didn't waste your time, he said, giving him a smaller bag. Now sage art, fertile land growth, he said as the ground began sprouting trees with fruits as the ground sprouted some veggies. How are you able to do that? The only person to ever do that was Lord Hashirama with his wood style, said a bamboozled Kakashi. Just because I am not ninja doesn't mean I can't use ninjutsu, he said before vanishing. Damn, that felt good, thought Naruto as he deactivated the Jinjutsu and the 8th conscious switching places with the clone. Alright, let's celebrate, shouted Minma as they all spent the night at Tazuna to party. We see Naruto with a bottle of juice sitting on a bench near the outskirts. I take it that mysterious man that saved us was related to you, said Haku, who appeared behind Naruto as he looked behind him and smiled. I have been impressed you saw through me, but you can't expect me to watch a fine specimen like you die saving dear OL daddy. He laughed as she blushed but sat next to him. Is it possible that we can be together like this all the time? She muttered. I knew you liked me, he said as she turned a brighter shape of red. So she did the one thing that came to her mind and kissed him, to which he, of course, kissed back. So, do you admit it now? He teased as this time she smiled instead of blushing. Of course I like you, she said as they kissed one more time. We're back home. Never thought I'd be happy to do D-rank missions again, said Naruto as they decided to help Naruto with the missions when they got to the Hokage Tower. Hokage Tower. What? Shouted Minato as they forgot to tell him that the mission changed S rank. How are you feeling? He asked Naruto as he said that he was fine. Due to you not telling me the change in rank, you will be doing 20 D-rank mission with no pay. Is that understood? Said Minato as he nodded. I understand, Hokage-sama, he said as he took the scrolls and left. As he was leaving, he made a clone apparition as it took his place. He teleported close to the Mist Village. So this is Mist Village, he said as he used his chakra to find and teleport to the rebel leader. Boo, he said as she jumped and took a battle stance. Who are you? She said cautiously. Me. I am the mighty Buddha, and I came to deal with the tailed beast, he said as Buddha as she was shocked. Why should I trust you? She said. Because he helped us, said Zabuza as he entered the tent. His power is comparable to that of a tailed beast himself, he said as Buddha laughed. I mean, I want a real fight, and if I beat him, I get a permit that allows me to enter and exit the village at any time, he said, showing his intentions. Why do you want to leave and enter as you please? She said, being cautious. Well, since my house is pretty far from the other villages, I need to be informed every now and then, he said. Very well, he is in the Mizukage Tower, defeat him, and we'll talk, she said as he nodded. It's a deal then, he said, and then teleported. The yellow flash, she thought. If he does beat him, what if he wants more than what he said? This man is a gamble, maybe the biggest one I'm making all my life. Please, Kami, help this village, she prayed. So you are the one who killed Haku's parents, he said, taking the illusion off. To think the son of the Hokage thinks he can beat me is funny, and all for a girl, he said in a mocking tone as he flexed his power, which Naruto matched. This is intriguing. He has this much power and no one knows of it. If you were this strong, why doesn't anybody have information of this? He asked as Naruto laughed. Simple. I don't want to be a weapon, something you are well aware of seeing how you were treated before, he said as he chuckled, taking off his staff. Very well. Let's see how you match against the tailed beast wind style. Gale, the fist that surpasses time, he said as he used it immediately, putting a hole through his stomach. As much as I would like a good battle, lives matter first. Release, he said as he canceled the controlling Jinjutsu, freeing him of the control. Sage art, divine healing, he said as he healed the damage he caused as he was unconscious. He erased their conversation, turning back into Buddha. He teleported back to Mei as she jumped again. Would you please tell me when you're going to do that? She asked Nope. Anyways, here's your little prize, shows Yagura as my gift to you, the puppet of the mysterious Byakugan, he said as this shocked Mei. What you're telling me he's a puppet? Why target us? She asked. Most likely a trial run. It probably tries to test how strong and for how long its little Justa will affect the target, he theorized. Like the QB incident, he thought, making a mental note. Anyways, now that he is in your possession, what will you do to him? He asked. Tell him of his misdeeds and send him to prison, but that's not important. Who will take over Kirigakure? She said. Why not you? You rallied the people, so you're perfect for the job, he reasons as she thought about it. Thank you for the word of kindness, but I can't get you the permit just yet. But I'll make it a priority, she said as he nodded teleport close to Haku. Hey, he said as she jumped. In our Naruto, she shouts as she runs to hug him as he catches her, spinning her. Miss me much, he said with a cheeky grin as he just kissed her on the lips as she happily kissed back. What are you doing here? She asked, now asking the question that waited on her mind. Well, came to see you, of course, and deal with who was the little problem causing you this much pain in your younger days, he said as she smiled. He did this all for me? I'm happy you are with me, she said. I'm all yours, my lady, but I can't stay long. I've got to go back to Konoha, my clone. When it loses chakra, it'll poof and it's gone, he said as she was a little sad. But I can cuddle with you for a little, he said as she hugged him as he hugged back while sitting on a bench. They stayed like that for an hour. Well, time to go, but since I have to do the Chunin exam finals to do in a month, I'll visit every week or so, he said as he kissed her quickly as he teleported back to Konoha. Welp, this sucks, he thought as he was in the middle of facing Kabuto as former student of Orochimaru. You're getting on my nerves, brat, he shouted as he ran towards Naruto, punching him with so much force he was staggered long enough to bite Sasuke. Ugh, shakes his head. That stung. Well, you guys okay? He said, swaying a bit. Yeah, we're fine, but Sasuke, isn't we having to get him to the hospital? Said Sakura as she was trying to help him. Right, we have an Earth and Heaven scroll. We get to the gate and take him to the hospital. He said as they nodded. He picked up Sasuke as he was the strongest. Let's go, he said as they jumped from tree to trees. They soon reached the venue where they told the Jonin and above of this guy named Kabuto as they took countermeasures. We will begin the preliminary exam in 2 days. Rest up, he said as they nodded. They left to begin to train as Naruto investigates this Kabuto, finding information about the secret organization called Akatsuki, but that's about it. If they aren't known, they might be a weak organization or it's going to be a problem. Knowing them, they will have to reveal themselves soon, he thought before teleporting. So we were found out. But we don't have to worry about being revealed. Soon he isn't that stupid. And that will be your downfall, Naruto's Uzukis, he thought as his colorless eyes turned into a 3-Tomo Sharingan. Welcome everyone, because we are a lot, we have to cut the number by half. So we will have the prelims, he said as they all nodded. Will Naruto Yuzuke's and Naruto Yuzuke's come to the field? Said Hate as they both entered the field. Don't hold back an Ison, she said. I don't plan on losing, he said. Begin. Taekwondo, Dragon Storm, he said as he took her out the tornado. Since when did he have this attack? Shouted Kiba as he couldn't believe it, he beat her in a single attack. He's in a league of his own, said Niji as he didn't know if he could block all of that. Soon the prelims end with Naruto Yuzuke's, Mima Yuzuke's, Niji Hyuga, Sabaku Nogara, Sobaku no Temari, Shikamaru Nara, Sasuke, Uchiha. You will be in the finals in a month's time, so get ready, he said as they nodded. Naruto decided to go to Might Guy for training as he was a Taijutsu specialist. So you want me to train you, correct? Said Guy. Yes, as much as my techniques are strong, my body doesn't produce the amount of power I want, he said. The goal is to be able to kick with enough force to break concrete, he said as Guy nodded. Very well, but you have to be in my jumpsuit if you want a best training, he said, taking out his signature style. Naruto pales, that hurts my body thinking of it near my body. Give me the jumpsuit, he muttered, planning on dying sooner than later. Soon he comes out with the jumpsuit as he was dying mentally and physically. Cammy, just execute me, he thought, crying. Looking sharp, he said with a thumbs up, smiling. Now let's begin, put these weights on, and give me 5 laps around Konoha, he said as Naruto nodded, covering his hair and putting his mask, as he would rather die than let people see like this. Soon he was finished in 3 hours as it was 1 p.m. Now let's begin, kick this tree with as much force as possible, said Guy as Naruto kick had enough force to break a chunk of the very thick tree. Impressive, you have as much force to crack it, but you shouldn't put chakra before you attack. Do it the moment before it connects. This would cause a lot more damage, understand, said Guy as he nodded and tried again on a stronger tree, but he kicked the tree in half. This amount of power is comparable to my dynamic entry, thought Guy as he was amazed with his power. Well, seems that you can break concrete now, so since you reached the goal, do you still want to continue? Asked Guy. Well, yeah, I'm still inexperienced, and I want to also learn the afterimage technique. And there are other forms of taijutsu I can learn, so yes, I will continue. My taijutsu is still young and doesn't have a dodging or defense moves, he said. But I'll be taking this godforsaken jumpsuit and burning it, he said as Guy laughed. Well, worth a try, I at least got you to wear, even if it was for training. Now we will continue your training, shouted Guy as Naruto bowed. We skip a month as Naruto does take Haku on some dates here and there as he still trains his taijutsu, as he also got his permit to enter Kiri whenever he pleases. Something bad is about to happen that will piss me off, he said as he got up from bed as he looked at the family portrait and smiled. They came around, maybe the village will, he thought as he was hopeful for the change in heart for the rest of the village. But oh boy, is these going to be a rude awakening. Welcome people of Konoha. As you know, I am Minato Yuzuke's, otherwise known as the 4th Hokage. But today we have a guest of the Kazekage of Sunagakure and the Otokichi, he said as people cheered for their Kages. As you know, this is a chance to promote yourself and show us your strength, said the Kazekage as they all nodded. Naruto Yuzuke's and Subaga no Gaara, please enter the grounds. You know, Mr. Gaara, I heard you are a Jinchuriki, so I will go full burst from the start, he said, taking of all the weights from the legs, arms, and body as they hit the ground with a thud, sinking into the ground. Those weight make me look like a child with baby weights. So let's do this, he said as Gaara also had all his sand out the gourd, also turning that into sand in a stance. I am Gama, I will be the proctor. So, is for you both ready, he as they nodded. He jumps out the arena. Then battle begin, he shouted as Naruto created over 50 afterimages, shocking everyone as those who don't like him thought. That demon is becoming stronger. They thought angrily, thinking the QB might break out again. You are impressive, more impressive than most. But partially transforms, you should have used that speed to take me out from the very beginning. Sand spikes, he shouted as his mutate's arm slams on the ground as Naruto is forced to jump before he could touch the ground. Damn, he forced me to activate my eyes, fuck my life. Deactivates it. Luckily for me, it doesn't change my eye color and only the pattern appears, and that's just a lighter shade, so I find. He thought as he knew that not even the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan could see the Dojutsu, as they would only see a burst in chakra to speed the sensing and reaction time. Bobi, he said as he appears in front of Gaara. He catches him with his knee and spins in the air, causing a small tornado. Taekwondo, Cyclone, he said as Gaara was barely conscious. You know that was my best technique. So how will you deal with the vertigo and brain damage? He said, smiling as he looked at Gama. He's pretty much not able to compete, he said, pointing at him as he sensed it. He turns around only to be trapped in sand as he roars. This was a signal to begin the invasion to begin. The invasion pretty much goes the same in canon as Minma fought Gaara, so he is facing Kabuto. Found you, you ugly-ass snake, shouted Naruto, as his eyes were the eyes of Ragnarok, incomplete. So you decided to use your full power at last? He asked as he knew the answer, knowing full well that he was outmatched. Time to die, bastard, he said, summoning a 1.5-meter katana. Any last words? He asked as he smiled. I wonder how Hinata is doing, he said with a sick smile as Naruto knew what he meant. Teeth, lucky bastard, he said, teleporting towards Hinata as she was falling. He caught as he then realized she didn't have anything on. You bastard, shouted Niji as he kicked him. How dare you try to harass Hinata? He said as now all the Konoha 13 was there, and they saw Hinata and heard what he said. So, this is how it was supposed to go? They framed me, and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. He thought, cursing himself for falling into their trap, as soon everyone was surrounding him as they were all glaring at him, even his family and friends. As much as I can get out of this pretty easily, it wouldn't better my case as that would prove me guilty, thought Naruto. I can't get you out of this, but you will be a Nobel sacrifice. Thanks to you, we were able to get this invasion started, said a mysterious black and white man as he entered back into the tree. This shocked everyone that he would do something so low. How could you? Said Naruto as she was crying, as even Minma and his parents were disappointed in what has transpired. Due to this event's capture him. We will put him to trial, as this is an atrocious violation of the law. Put him in jail, said Minato, wondering where he went wrong. Soon he was captured, putting movement restraining seals, and placed his hands in special cuffs that made to where no one can use hand sign well, except for, of course, Naruto. He was placed in a cell where he was chained and placed multiple seals and placed him in an uncomfortable position. Knowing how long trials take, he used his chakra as he sent it to Haku through the ground at the speed of light. The message said, Haku, currently I'm in prison. I was framed by the Akatsuki to kill me, as they know I will not attack them as they are my family. Former now, but that's not the point. I will not be able to get to you, as if I leave, I would automatically be proven guilty. So don't worry, we will be together soon, but not now. Know this, I will always love you and be safe. Love, Naruto. He sent this chakra, as only she could see it, as she was a little saddened. She knew he would survive in the end. He knew what he was doing, at least she hoped. Soon he heard the gates open as Hayashi enters. As soon as he sees Naruto looking at him, he punches him in the face as he starts beating the crap out of Naruto. This hurt him a lot as he sealed all his power to the point where he is a low chunin. How dare you try to harass my daughter? I always knew you were a demon. Just when I start to see you as a human, you do this. You should have died instead of Lord Third, he said as Naruto was a bloody mess as he was bleeding from his face, as his chakra was also a mess because of the Trigram's 64 palms. Now know this, I will enjoy knowing that you will die soon. You demon, he said as Naruto was slowly but surely started to grow hatred towards Konoha, hatred towards his family, hatred towards Shinobi, but this wasn't the first time, but now it's resurfaced stronger than ever. Time for interrogation, said a Umbu who lost his parents and another one who lost his son. We now see a burning Naruto as he was in pure agony. They broke his fingers, cut various places, stabbed his shoulders and upper arms, slashed at his eyes, as they keep saying that he must tell the truth, to which he said he didn't harass Hinata. He'll in the trial is happening in a few hours, said an Umbu, as when he checked his watch he saw they were at it for a week. He's real lucky, said an Umbu, as he healed him enough to walk and talk properly and put bandages with a Jinjutsu, so they wouldn't be in trouble. The trial of Naruto Uzukis will now commence. Naruto, how do you plead? Asked Minato. Not guilty, Lord Hokage, he said as everyone shouted that he is lying. You who has tried to harass Hinata Hyuga and caused her invasion. We have evidence to this atrocities, as we got the perpetrator's accomplice, who is now known as Zetsu, a part of an organization, trying to capture the tailed beast with him, making a deal with them for the sake of power, said an Umbu as it showed him making a deal with him. So if I draw the power of this tailed beast of Gaara, I will get my titles back and Hinata, correct? Said a fake Naruto. Yes, it's as simple as that. With all the chaos, we can snatch the three of them and kill the Hokage a year later. So do we have a deal? Said Zestu. Deal, he said, shaking hands. This shocked everyone present as they all shouted for death. He is a demon, etc. was all he heard. Naruto, you who has attempted to harass Hinata and compromising the village of Konoha, you will be sent to death, said Minato as this shocked Kushina, but didn't say anything as Tsunobubu came to the Hokage as whispers something. Due to the integrity and instability of Konoha, your execution will be postponed for 2 months as you will be sent to the hole, said Minato as there was silence, as the last person sent to the hole was Tonari, a man who killed hundreds of the people from different clans taking their power for his own. He died there, as he was there for a decade. Soon blazing chains wrapped around Naruto, as this burning sensation was the worst things he ever felt. Aghhh, shouted Naruto, vanishing in a blood-curdling scream, as this would be felt by all those present. This will be taken care of, as we will be back in 2 months, said Minato as he was trying to hold back the tears as he teleports home, where he did paperwork as he was doing without complaining. I have been here for 2 months, my birthday passed, making me 15 and them 13. Thought Naruto as he was surrounded by pitch black, as every now and then an Oni would attack, but enough where it looked like it hurt as they felt his pressure, so they knew he could kill them at any given point, so they only aimed for muscle tissue, not organs or his privates, as he would kill them all. Soon light would open as he was lifted upwards where he was adjusting to the light hitting him. When he was adjusted, he saw that he was in an execution area called the End. Naruto Yuzukes, or former Yuzukes, as you have been disowned by both clans, you will be killed through impalement. Any last words? He asked. He smiled, saying, Ragnarok is coming soon. He said he stops time, switch places with the clone that copied the injuries and placed the seals back on exactly the way they were. Time resumed as he was impaled through the chest, as it was a brutal scene, as they all cheered nonetheless except the Konoha 13, his former parents, clan heads, and a few kids. We see Naruto above a cloud as he saw what happened as he finally grew his hair, healing and changing color, all the injuries and getting rid of the whiskers on his cheeks as he looked like a younger Buddha. Well, time to say goodbye to this place, to this career, and to this life. Naruto was executed. I'm Naruto Ryujin, and we are done, he said with his eyes in the completed state. They look like Buddha eye pattern with it being blood red with a goldish eye color. These are the true eyes of Ragnarok. He started flying towards Haku. Haku was at the bench waiting for Naruto. She felt it all, the pain. She saw it in her dreams what he was going through, and this sent her to almost go to Konoha and kill everyone involved if it weren't for Naruto telling her not to. Soon he jumps in front of her, but this time she didn't jump, as she just stood up with her hair shadowing her eyes as she hugs while crying. I felt it. I saw the pain that we're putting you through. Why do they have to be this? Why did they not check properly? Why did they not do a proper investigation? Why? She screamed as he hugged her as he lifts her chin. Haku, I understand why you are like this, but just know this. I'm done with them. I'm done with Konoha, and I'm done with being a shinobi, he said as she was still crying. Then I'm done with you. Then we will both not be shinobi, she said as this shocked him. Why would you do that? He asked, confused as she smiled. It's because I love you, she as he kissed her as she took off her headband, kissing back. Soon word spread of his execution of Naruto, as his name was tarnished everywhere, as the Mizukage allowed Haku to quit, as she gave the excuse if she is tired of killing people and wants to be with her boyfriend, which was introduced to both Mei and Zabuza, as they could see he liked her for her and not for privileges, even giving his address, so they can come by any time as he cooked for them, as they could gave him a green light immediately after tasting his godly food, saying he will cook for them at any time. Konoha celebrated his death, as he couldn't care less, as we see Menma. As we see him by himself, he started to think of all the times he was with Naruto. Why did you do that? He thought as he started to recall memories as he saw that they didn't have that much. He couldn't dwell on it for long when Jiraiya came to tell him that he is going to train with him. As soon he was sent to bed thinking, who are you truly, Naruto? He thought before drifting to sleep. In an unknown area. Do you have the body? Said the man as Zesta nodded as he took his face. As soon he felt it a rush in power. He felt his eyes change and his body grow as the growth was exponential. This much power for a pure clone? He said as he laughed. He had power comparable to that of 5-tailed beasts. Soon we will get those orbs. The tailed beast are nothing but imitation, and the 10 tails will emerge, and Ragnarok will begin. Now let's begin the experiments, he said, laughing like a maniac. We skip 5 years into the future as we see both Menma Sasuke, and Naruto at the village gate with the legendary Sannin, as they were all trained by them with Sakura, also learning under Tsunade, as both of them competed against each other. She jumped on top of pole. "We back Konoha," she shouts as she is called down. "When will you stop acting like a kid?" asked Sasuke as she pouted they would spar, as they both saw each as best of friends than boyfriend and girlfriend. "Leave me alone, Scaly," she said as he grew a tick mark. "Calm down, you two, we have to go to the Hokage first," said Orochimaru as they all nodded and shunshined in front of the office door and knocked. "May we come in?" asked Jiraiya as he heard a feint come in. He entered to see him done with all the paperwork, as this is the first time he was finished, as he was happy all the same. "I take you finish your work?" said a sarcastic Tsunade as he smiled, happily knowing he could go home and rest. "Congrats, we just came to tell you that they have progressed nicely with them, giving us quite the challenge," she said as he was proud of his kids. "I see, that's good to know they became stronger," he said, smiling at his to the growth of his two kids. He, along with the rest of Konoha, forgot about Naruto, as would only mention him only to badmouth him. He heard rumors that his body was stolen, but didn't think too much of it as he was thrown at the outskirts of Konoha. He thought he was taken by an animal seeking easy prey. He doesn't know that he is alive and well. Naruto Ryujin has been at his best life. He recently married Haku, and even have triplets recently hit Suguya, Mikasa, and Raiden. The only one who knows about his past life is Zabuza, and that was before he proposed. Flashback. We see him and Naruto at a bar as they decided to get a drink together, as Naruto decided to tell him his past me. "You know what, Mr. Zabuza, time I tell you the real me, or show you the past me," he said as Zabuza got concerned about what this might end to. As looked at Naruto's eyes, he saw them change, and then all the memories of his childhood, training, thoughts, and conversation, he saw it all. "You are Naruto Yuzuke's? Why did you not take revenge? All that pain would have had to drive you mad, and you had the power to do so. Why?" he asked as he saw that he wasn't a rapist and a good person in a bad place. "Simple, what would I gain from revenge? A few seconds of satisfaction? That would be pointless, as you would eventually realize that it was all pointless. They could have used that time to do something beneficial than wasting time killing or bringing someone you hate down. It's either they realize they were wrong, or they still keep that hatred. It's their choice, as mine is to forget about them," he said as Zabuza took this differently. "This kid is wise for his age. You picked a good one, my daughter. He is a keeper. You have my blessings," he said. "What?" he asked, confused. "I brought you here to have a drink and talk, not ask for your blessings. Even if you didn't, I would marry her anyways." He laughed as Zabuza laughs, as well as the rest was history. Into flashback. We see Naruto and Haku sleeping in a king-size bed as he woke up looking at her. As he nudges her, she stirs. "So, Haku, what do you want for breakfast?" he asked as she woke up fully. "I guess I'll have something that has to do with apples," she said as she knew how good of a cook all he needed was a key ingredient. He nods, kissing her before going downstairs to start cooking. As he left, Haku recalled what happened in the past 5 years. "We did it," she thought, as they have 3 beautiful kids and a peaceful life. Soon she gets up to check their kids and goes downstairs to see him cook. In a cave. "So the Kage's kids have returned with the Uchiha? Why didn't we attack them?" asked a member with shark eyes. "Simple, we have to wait for that man," he said. "You mean Ryujin? He wants nothing to do with Konoha and its people." "Why mustn't we attack it?" said a man with a scythe. "He has teleportation marks near Konoha. He will come to kill you the second you cause a stir in Konoha," he said back. "Then we can go for his wife or kids, couldn't we?" said Sasori. "That's the dumbest thought I have heard in a while. You are aware she was trained by him to the level where she can freeze over one of the 5 villages in an instant? She is an absolute zero," he said. "No woman is a zero. She can't be that ugly," said a kid with March's arms, swinging them up and down. "No, you idiot, absolute zero, as in the temperature is so low, it's below 0 or at 0. She can freeze you before you even touch her. But you have to continue your training," he said as the kid nodded, running deeper in the cave. "So they are both off the table, correct?" said a woman. "Not entirely. We can attack Konoha, but we have to use you, Pain. So go now," he said as Pain nodded and left. "You think they are strong enough to win against Pain?" she asked. "No, not even close. He is one of our strongest, and even if they win, we take the orb, or if he comes and kills him, he compromises his peaceful life. It's a win-win. Besides, there is a weapon there we should get," he said as he laughed. Today was a special day, as it was a day where they pay homage to those who died in service. We see Mima as he was running with a big box. "Oh man, I'm gonna be late." "Curse that stupid line," he said, running as he looks at the sun to see what time it was. He looks as it was around 1 p.m. as he ran quicker. "Come on, we're almost there," he thought as he started to jump from roof to roof. As he was jumping, he felt a burst in chakra. As he stops, looking at the sun to see a figure in front of it. His mindscape, that chakra, it feels familiar. "It feels like that of the sage of the six paths," said Kurama as he was preparing to give Minma chakra in case he can't handle it. The real world. Minma couldn't hear what Kurama said as he felt a pushing force as he was blasted, sent flying as he grabbed onto something to not be blown back. The hell, all I heard was someone saying almighty push, and this happened? What the hell is this power? He thought as he never felt this much power. We changed perspective to Minato as he was talking to the people of Konoha. People of Konoha, today is the day where we reminisce on the people that died in service of this village, the people who got caught in the middle of battle. We pray that they all make it to the afterlife to live in eternal peace. I would like a moment of silence for those we lost to save another, he said as he closed his eyes, followed by the rest of Konoha. As soon they opened their eyes as Minato eyes shot up. "Get down!" he shouted as he got down and held on to something as he felt a pushing force. If he didn't hold on to something, he would be flying as a quarter of Konoha was destroyed. What was that? He thought. "Get the injured to a hospital. Everyone who is able see who attacked us, and if strong, don't fight unless you are Jonin rank. This is a big threat, treated as such," he said in full warrior mode. He teleports towards the Kage head as he is caught by surprise by a man with a mask. "Hello, Minato Namikaze. I always wanted to battle you," he said as he put chains on his hands as they begin to battle. We go back to Mima. He gets up as he looks around only to see pure destruction. "To think you are related to that man is laughable," Pain said as he was walking towards. "I'm not related to my brother anymore. He is no Yuzuke's," he shouts. "Whoever said I was talking about your brother," he said. Universal pull was used as he pulled Minma towards him to slam him in the ground. "Maybe I would do him a favor and kill you for him," he said, about to use the chakra rods, about to stab him. That is until Chidori was about to hit him if he didn't jump back. So the Uchiha and friends have arrived. To think his upbringing were here is sad. "You don't even know the true him speaks volumes about you lot," he said as they don't understand what he was saying. "What were you talking about, Purple Eye?" asked Kiba. "That's for us to know and you to figure out. Almighty push," he shouts as they were all pushed back far, leaving Naruto and Menma. My, you are welcome to try and beat me, failures," he mocks as they turn into three-tailed mode. "We are not failures," shouts Naruto. "Then show me," he said, raising his hands as they soon clash. "How is that my chakra?" "No, that's not my chakra. It's the sage of the six paths, and it's in Konoha." "Is it battling Kurama? I should check it out," he thought as he went to Haku. "Darling, I'm going to Konoha. Something is happening that interests me," he said as she nodded, not being worried as she knew he can be as silent as he want. So he kissed his kids and he took his mask so they don't know it's him. So he vanished. He appears in the sky to see them at a standstill. How that's impressive. They're holding their own against him. What is that, the Rinnegan? He thought as this is the first time he saw it, not even paying attention to his former siblings and friends. They are able to use Kurama chakra, but more like siphon it. They haven't confronted him in a more human way. "If this keeps on going, they will die for sure," he said as he donned his mask as he fell down. "You will be dying today, Yuzuke's. So give me the orb," he said as everyone was fatigued and he was a little tired. "This is my final attack to save my family and village." "Tailed beast bomb," he screams as he made a miniature bomb that he didn't master because he still needs to be more physically stronger due to the massive strain on his body being a Jinchuriki and not a tailed beast. He will be died after this attack. That is a truly impressive attack, but you are not a tailed beast, merely it's Jinchuriki. You will die once that attack leaves your body. Why such the gamble? He laughed as he knew he would survive the attack, but he felt his presence. So he arrived, huh? He thought as he feeling his presence to look for openings to find there is none. He couldn't think of him for long as he was hit by a dense attack hit his stomach. To think it is this dense? I let him power it with his own chakra, and now he is here. There is no way out of this. That masked bastard list to Lord Forth. This didn't go according to plan. He thought as everything was in a mess, as he couldn't have been happier when he saw him collapse from chakra depletion and internal damage. He will be dead in a few seconds, and there is nothing they can do. "So there you are, Rinnegan boy," said Naruto as he landed with his staffs, is the six realms. You have two options: one, save the child of prophecy, or two, capture me, he said. Two, he said instantly as he knocked him out instantly. He tried to release the Jinjutsu, but it was futile. What the fuck? This isn't supposed to be that hard, damn it. Curse my laziness for not training my Jinjutsu releasing, he said, annoyed as he stabbed his heart, then turned around to see them all around Menma. As soon everyone was there. Ugh, why must the entire village be here? He thought, annoyed as he saw faces he didn't like. Today we lost someone important. Shut up, he said as they all look at him. I can bring him back, but I want that Naruto kid's body, he said, leaving no one to debate or even say anything as he pushed them all away from Menma as a barrier forms around them. He has that amount of chakra? He can be compared to a human-tailed beast. What is he? Thought Neji, using the Byakugan, seeing the amazing power he has, as he thought his chakra looked familiar. We see Menma in an ocean as he keeps going deeper. Naruto appears under him. Sadly, you failure of a sibling, this is my final act as your brother, he said as he swam up at fast speeds. We go to the real world as he takes a large breath as Naruto falls on his butt. That is the most chakra I've ever used in a while, he said as he was taking a large breath, causing a small vacuum. Now that's that Naruto body, give him to me, he said to Minato. Right, sadly we can't do that, he said as Naruto grew angry. What, he said, exerting bloodlust. This was felt by everyone. The reason I is because we believe an animal has taken him to their lair to eat him, he said, stuttering as Naruto, still exerting his bloodlust as it slowly diminished. Why do I want that demon anyway? Asked Kiba. Simple, it's my business, he said as he just started walking. Wait, said Neji. What, he asked. How were you able to bring him back to life? Asked Neji, as everyone was shocked. What do you mean he is alive? Asked Hinata. Reanimation, just because I have an extremely large pool of chakra. It won't kill me but tires me out by a lot, he said as everyone was amazed by his power. Before they could ask any more question, he vanished, as they all couldn't dwell on him, as they all left. The only one left was the Yuzukes as Menma. What did he say? Why did he feel so familiar? He thought as he was questioning himself before being picked up by his father. Dad, didn't he feel familiar? Asked Menma. Now that you mention it, yes he does, but that's not important. We have to help the village while you go rest, he said sternly as he just nodded as he went home. Why did he feel like Naruto? He thought as he fell asleep. I take it you came back disappointed? Said Haku as she could feel the annoyance radiating off of her poor husband. You got that right, Naruto body was taken by animals, but they themselves aren't sure, he said as he put away his mask, turning the staff of six realms into toys that he gives to his kids. You know, it could be the Akatsuki that took your body, she said. That would be useless, they can't bring it to life. They need a soul, my soul, and they can't steal its power, he said as he took some candy and chips to calm his nerves before he does something he doesn't regret to Konoha as she smiled, hugged him, and took a pack of chips. Hey, he shouts as she giggles and kisses him. I got it, said the leader. Zero, come here, he shouts as we see the kid as he has completed his training. Yes, master, he said with a sickening smile. We have made it through the use of a scroll. We have turned the clone into your best weapon. The misery cleaver, he said as he took the handle as it turned his hate and disdain towards everyone and everything as it transformed into an axe. Yes, I like it. This is nice. With this I can bring divine punishment at last, he said, laughing as he could get revenge on Konoha, Shinobi, and Naruto. Now go to Kimo and take that orb, but put on the Akatsuki cloak. We want you hidden from the enemy, because if he finds out, we're screwed, he said as he nodded and left, putting the handle in his back as he donned the Akatsuki cloak. Will he be fine? Tonari Atsutsuki, said Conan. He will be more than fine. His body is impervious to their weapons, and they can't hurt him that badly with ninjutsu. The only people that can beat him is Naruto and maybe his wife, he said as soon he started to cough as they sent him to bed. That blade took a lot of my power. I better be right about you. Hajuin. Soon we go to Kimo. Hey, did you hear the Akatsuki just up and appeared and caused havoc and destroyed a 1/4 of Konoha, said a guard. Yeah, but I'm more interested in that guy who brought that kid back to life. That is something I never thought would happen. I wonder where he is, he said. And I wonder where your orb is, said Zero. Soon someone ran in the Raikage office. Sir Akatsuki has arrived, shouted a Kimo ninja. Get B and all the most important possessions to the safe house. I'll go, he said as he stood up to confront this opponent. We get back to Zero as we see all those opposing him on the floor on death's door. "Hello, Mr. Rakage, I would like that orb or else," he said with his hair flying. "Or else what?" he asked as he threw a kunai at him as he dodged to the side. "Is that it?" he said as he teleports to the kunai as punches him in the face. "No, that's just the beginning," he said as he started throwing kunai everywhere, as now he could teleport anywhere to wreak havoc as he destroyed everyone. We soon skip a few minutes as Kyumo was in ruins, everyone having fatal injuries as he's now holding I by his skin as B was on the floor, barely conscious. "I have destroyed your shinobi, I have beaten you tailed beast host, and if you don't give me that orb, I will kill everyone and search their dead corpses. So do you no wish for Ragnarok upon your people?" he asked in a deathly tone. We see other ninja from different villages running to Kyumo for assistance, but it was far too late. Kyumo in ruins, shinobi on death's door, blood everywhere, and a defeated Ai on his knees unconscious. "We were too late," said Itachi as he has never seen something like this, and for it to be from one person is preposterous. Now he believes it. "Medical Corps, help all those you can. The scouts, see if we can find out who did this and search for the orb," said Itachi as they nodded and did as ordered. We see Naruto as he is laying his head on Haku's lap. "Hajime," he said to himself as his eyes narrowed after feeling that dark, evil pressure. "Ragnarok is coming soon," he said louder as Haku's eyes slowly opens as she knew what Ragnarok is. "When?" she asked. "Soon as in it will happen this year," he said sitting up as they both stood up. "Then we should prepare, don't you think?" she said as she summons her katana as he summoned his own katana. "You read my mind," he said as they began to spar. "What?" shouted Minato. "A single person destroyed Kyumo?" "How?" Minato asked. "We did some brain searching with the Yamanaka, and it was a one-sided beatdown. He burned kunai. Swords broke on contact with his skin, overpowered a full-tailed beast, and outsped the Rakage. It was truly a one-sided victory. We couldn't confirm his identity, but he will go with the alias Ragnarok," explains Itachi, fearing facing this monster. "This is bad. If this Ragnarok is as strong as you say, then we are in trouble," said Minato. They seem to be after orbs that were given to the 5 nations around the time of Hashirama. They were always shrouded in mystery, but if the Akatsuki wanted this signifies a difficult time for all of us, said Itachi. "I understand you may leave." He nods and shunshin out. "If this is a very big threat, we must treat it with caution," said Minato to himself. "Call Team Guy, Team Karinai, and Team Asuma. They have a mission," said Minato as the receptionist nodded and called for said teams to come to the office. "I called you all here for the task of moving the body Pain to aim to safeguard it," he said as a large scroll was given to Niji. "Understood, Lord Hokage. We will be going now," they said in unison as they left to the direction of aim. "Let's hope this goes without a problem, but to be safe. Team Kakashi, follow them and be ready to be reinforcements if they are attacked," he said as they nodded, leaving to follow. "Let's hope I'm wrong for their safety," he thought as he was scared of losing his ninja and children. Soon we see the 3 teams jumping from tree to tree. "Guy, let's do this as fast as possible. We don't know what to expect from an ambush, so be careful." "Sorry, but I'll be taking back my ally." Niji was interrupted by Zero, who kicked him on the face and took the scroll. "Now that I have this, I guess killing some Konoha scum would do me good. So let's have fun," he said, flaring his killing intent, terrifying them as all of Konoha Nin felt and moved towards it, believing it was a threat, as the ones in front of them were shaking as they knew that they won't survive an enemy of his caliber. "Guys, get into the formation, and whatever you do, don't directly confront him," said Shikamaru as they nodded, surrounding him. "Huh? You honestly think you could beat me? Me? Don't make me laugh and just run along back while I'm feeling generous," he said with a frightening bloodlust as this froze everyone in a 100-mile radius. "I'm going to enjoy taking you all apart limb by limb," he said as soon a woman appeared in front of him. "Ragnarok, the mission was to get the body, not to kill, so let's leave," she said, leaving no room for arguments as his hair stopped floating. Suddenly cuts appear everywhere on the bodies of all the team members as they all fell bleeding out. "You didn't say I couldn't put them on death's door, so no foul," he said as she sighed. "Fine, you have a point, so let's go," she said as the both vanished. We see Team 7 just arriving to see all their friends slowly dying as Sakura did her best to heal them all to the best of her ability. "This is bad, soon they might die," Heal the most critical injuries and bandage the rest. This should give us enough time to get back to Konoha," said Sasuke, as they all nodded, and soon they all carried the injured allies to safety and got to a hospital in time. We go back to the two Akatsuki members appear in front of their master, dropping off the package and leaving. "I always wanted a Rinnegan, never could get one, so thanks Nagato for your contribution," he said as he stole the abilities of the Rinnegan for himself, laughing maniacally. "Soon I'll surpass even that Ryujin bastard and finally claim what was always mine. The world will be under my command." "Damn it, why are we cleaning the basement when we are supposed to be at the meetings?" ranted Menma as he was sorting the boxes when some scrolls fell out. Wait, are these Naruto's? I thought Kasan threw them away." "Well, might as well take a look." Age 12. Ugh, this is now starting to get redundant. Me asking Tisan to train, saying I'm not as good as my siblings, going to the forest to train with old man, be then come back home, ignoring the glares from the villagers. If only old man be allowed me to go with him to wherever he goes, I could feel some sort of peace. Cause I'm pretty sure that they would beat me up if I wasn't the Hokage's eldest son, an heir of both Namikaze and Uzumaki clan, but hey, at least I got Gramps. Wait, what's this he writing? Since when did he start feeling like this? "Hey Narumi, come check this out," is one of Naruto's old diaries, said Menma as he woke up Narumi, who grunts but still approached. What knucklehead writes in a scroll?" asked Narumi as she starts reading, as she gets more confused as they continued reading. "Great, now I know why they glare at me. They think that I somehow caused Lord Third's death. And now I'm 90% sure that most of Konoha, if not all that live here, are complete idiots because a 2-year-old baby with unstable chakra at the time was unable to keep the Kyuubi soul sealed. I'm not sure if it's just me, or do they not understand that not every Uzumaki, regardless of royalty, are able to absorb the Kyuubi chakra because they are all different. But I digress. At least I can start becoming a ninja, and I can't stop holding back as much, because I'm pretty sure I can face a Chunin on equal footing thanks to old man. Be sad that he passed on. But I'll keep that scroll be gave me and hide from whoever this Ragnarok is. Continue my climb to the top of the strongest in the 5 nations. I'm now not sure if I knew Naruto that much. Hey Narumi, how well do we know Naruto?" asked Menma as she shakes her head. "Reading this makes me wonder if we knew anything that everyone else didn't know," she said as they continue reading. Age 14. Finally, a C-rank mission time to leave this village. I'm still not sure if I should just stay or leave, because I'm pretty sure I can stage a kidnapping to vanish without much of a trace. But at least I'm not going to, because things got interesting as we get the possibility of meeting Zabuza. And if I can beat him, I could be at the least a B-rank threat at the age of 14, which means I could be on the level of Madara, or even Hashirama in my 20s. I at least got to convince them with any punishment for me, but a small price to pay for. A chance to face a A-rank Rouge. Well, I guess now we know why he wanted to go, but why not tell us we AR? We're his siblings at the time, muttered Menma while correcting himself. Wait, they are 2 more. Let's finish this and report this to Tusan, said Narumi. Damn it, when did love become so goddamn hard? I mean, I get it, I know I like Haku, but Hinata likes me when I see his little sister, and I know this is because I'm not as dense as I seem to be, but those Rose Lee, get a grip, Yuzuke's reach the top. Date later, but what weird is that I keep getting hallucinations and visions of this weird guy with flying hair that has blue fire at the tips, holds some disgusting axe as he looked at me with a demonic smile, but when I look at him, I don't feel fear, but regret? Shame? I'm not truly sure, but I guess I'll figure it out eventually. Finally, the Chunin exam break is done, and now I have completed my Taekwondo with the help of Mado guy, but I had to wear that god-awful jumpsuit. But it seems that I can maybe go get a gift for Haku, as we have been talking, sending notes every once in a while. It seems that Buta guy saved the village, and now I'm not sure if he is some self-righteous man or a guy looking to get everyone indebted to him, but at least Haku's happy. So I'm happy. I'm now sure we knew nothing about Naruto, that others didn't. I mean, how come we are only learning these things when he's dead? Let's take some of these to Tucson, and we'll figure the rest out later, said Menma in deep thought, as Narumi nodded mindlessly as they leave to the office. Council meeting. Damn it, how did they find out we were transporting him to AIM? Now not only is my daughter and nephew hurt, so is the rest. Some of our best ninja and Kyumo are badly damaged. It's a miracle they are alive. The only thing we know is they want is the orbs, and that's about it. Rants Hayashi as they all nodded as some civilian council. We're blaming Naruto that he caused this while in hell, as Menma with the rest of the Konoha 13 burst into the room. Tusen, we might have some info on the Akatsuki, He shouts as they were all shocked as they motioned the civilian council out, as they would most likely interrupt him. Well, I found this out in one Naruto's old scrolls. That demon? Well, seems that he had a mentor that he called Old Man B, and it seems that he gave him a scroll to hide from Ragna. Wait, Tusen, didn't he said Ragnarok is coming soon as his last words? Asked Mima as Minato nods. Doesn't that sound a little like what we call that guy who beat Kyumo? He asked as their eyes widened. Wait, did he predict this? Asked Shikadai as Mima nods. While we were reading, he describes him, and when cross-referencing with our Ragnarok, they surprisingly match, with the only thing missing is some axe. But Naruto seemed to have hidden something that he would want. Said Narumi as they all were shocked. Well, you're telling me that that weak-ass demon knew this might happen and said nothing and said nothing. I guess he was a demon after all. Said Kiba, cursing Naruto as he feels like strangling a mutt breaking his candy. Honey, you okay? Asked Haku as he nods. No worries, just had some intrusive thoughts. He said, smiling, taking a new one. I wouldn't call him weak, cause in the finals he completed the Taekwondo and could still beat you in a fight. Retorts Mima as he glared at him. We are getting off track. What did he hide and where? Asked Inoichi as the twins nod. Some scroll, we don't know where it is, but it seemed to be something pretty powerful to be hidden. States Mima as they all sigh. I want to say we can use the Yamanaka mind gathered Justa, but we don't have his body. Said Sum as she cursed him under her breath. Wait, I think we might another have a lead. Said Niji as he continued. Remember that guy who brought Mima back to life? He seemed pretty pissed when we didn't know where his body is. Maybe he knew that he hid the scroll means one of two things: he is affiliated with the Akatsuki or against Ragnarok. He, as they all understood, that there is more to this than what meets the eye, but at the end of the day, they have more questions than answers. I see, thank you, this is a good start, we have leads, and now my only question is, how did Naruto work in this? Said Minato in thought, as soon everyone left, leaving the Yuzuke's family. Tusen, I have one question. Continue, what do we know that no one else did? Asked Narumi as he was about to answer, to only find out a blank. They knew nothing that other did, not a secret, a crush, nothing. I guess I was right, seems, or don't know much about him, but I think she does takes out a scroll, some girl named Haku. Seems like they dated during the Chunin exam break, and seemed pretty close, maybe she knows something. Said Narumi as he was amazed that he was dating someone. I see, let's get some more info on this Haku, but seems we didn't look underneath the underneath, and now I'm not sure if the Naruto we know is his true self. Said Minato in disbelief that he doesn't know his former oldest son as well as he thought he did. But now I'm confused. If he was dating someone, why would he kidnap Hinata if he saw her as a little sister? Seems a little suspicious to me. And now looking back, I'm sure he looked pretty confused than angry. But if he had completed Taekwondo, he must have a movement technique, so why not escape? Said Minma as they were all making their own theories. There's more to this. This seems a little too convenient. Let's investigate Minma. Narumi, this is a SSS rank mission. Figure out who Naruto is and his connection to the Akatsuki. Do not tell this to anyone else other than me, understood? He told them in a serious manner as they gnawed, leaving, as when the door was shut he slumped, because if he was framed by the Akatsuki, then this shows that he wasn't just a bad parent, but a failure of one to him. If only you were still alive, then we could have got our answers. Maybe the Akatsuki took his body, but that means may have the scroll, damn that cur. What was I about to call him a cursed child? He is now truly scared of the way he treated his child and gave him the worst punishment, death. Hey guys, said Minma, thinking as he called up with everyone except Kiba, Niji, and Hinata. What is it, do? Asked Sasuke as the rest nod. Well, what do we know about Naruto that others didn't? Asked Narumi as though they didn't want to think about it. They did it nonetheless to find out. They also knew close to nothing his Taijusta was known through the whole village. Why he chose not to become clan head, they knew nothing the rest of Konoha didn't. Okay, what your point? That we didn't know that demon as much as we did? Asked Shikamaru as they shake their head. Simple, we found out that he was dating someone named Haku during the Chunin exam break. Said Minma as they looked surprised. What he was dating, why didn't we know about this? Said Ino as he continued. Well, from the notes we could tell that he really liked her. So the reason I called you all here is if you were dating someone and you kidnap someone you find as a little sister or brother, would that make sense? Asked Minma as Choji asked. Is this why those three aren't here? Maybe he was wanted someone to use as he pleased, said Tintin as they sighed, leaving. What was that about? Asked Sakura. Wait, you said her Haku, right? Asked Narumi as he nodded. Wasn't that Umbu girl that risked her life to save Zabuza at the bridge named Haku? Asked Narumi as he realizes that they may be the same person. Yeah, maybe we're getting somewhere with this, but for now, let's not tell them any more cause that will bring problems. Said Minma. I know, let's go ask Tusan if the Mizukage can get us to meet with her, and see if we can meet her in about 2 days, so let's investigate what we can. Said Minma as she nods as they run to the Hokage office. Minma, what if Naruto was innocent? Asked Narumi as he answered. Then we don't deserve his forgiveness, he said, gritting his teeth and clenching his fist, because if he is innocent, then he wouldn't be surprised if he cursed them in his last moments, because he would. Ugh, damn it, we have gone through all the archives and through his room, turning it upside down and downside up, and we didn't find anything but those 2 scrolls, and they're blank. Rants Narumi as Minma sighed as he was tired. Hey Kurama, you got any ideas to get some more info? Since when was I your advocate? I don't know, maybe because you have lived since the time of the Sage of Six Paths. Says the son of the Yellow Flash, one of the most dangerous people in the Five Nation. But seeing as how everyone in your family except Naruto is an idiot, I humor you. Why do you call all of us idiots except Naruto? That Naruto boy was smart, real smart. He was alive. He would most likely created multiple more Justu if he was alive. What you did by killing without a fair trial lead to one of the biggest lose in potential. Wait, what do you? It wasn't a fair trial. Do I have to point it out? Figure it out yourselves. What? You're saying this was planned, he said aloud as Narumi goes to him. What you mean planned? Asked Narumi. Bah! The stupid fox won't answer. I swear he gives us a lead, then makes us figure out the rest. He rants as he said something about Naruto being smarter than them as a light bulb pops out. Hey Menma, remember when Naruto always said how he would use chakra to send messages to Elias? She asked as he remembered. You're right, that was at the age of 12 and pretty sure he would have figured it out in 2 years now. All we need is a Dojusti user to confirm. He said as they thought about it, they knew how the people of Konoha would react, especially the Hyuga and Uchiha, so they had no one as their friends wouldn't be much help. Maybe we don't need a Dojusti user, said Sai as they jumped. Sai, what are you doing here? I thought you were still on a mission. Asked Narumi, as this was Sai, a replacement of Naruto and former slave of Danzo, but was seriously injured by a man with a gold lion scythe. Well, to answer your question, I finished a while ago and heard your conversation with the others. I have had my suspicions, but I kept them to myself. He explained as they got back on track. What I was saying was to write with chakra means you have very high chakra control or a dojustu. We can cross the latter, so all we need is a strong sensor type. He explained with a smile. So all we need is a sensor type. That's easier said than done. All of Konoha hates him, and the other villages dislike. So now, wait, what if we use Sage Mode? He muttered as he had a realization. Asai looked at him confused. Sage Mode is when you infuse nature energy to chakra. This takes practice and meditation, so maybe while in Sage Mode, we can get some info. He explained as he got the gist of it. He enters Sage Mode in hopes of seeing something only to see bits and pieces of it. Damn it, it's good I can only see bits and pieces of it, maybe, because he's dead that it's fading, or maybe someone used Edo Tensei, which is why some parts are there. GHH, sometimes I wish he was here to ask him. Shouts Minma as Narumi and Sai in defeat, and they all leave the house. Seems that those little seeds to prove your innocence through death bear fruit. They want to meet me, she said as he sighed. I know I said I don't care what they do, but I want them to feel like they killed me to satiate their thirst for revenge, expecting those who died to magically come back to realize that they are no better than what they despised. He said as she chuckled. Quite the sadistic approach, didn't think you had it in you. She remarked as he sneered. I'm on all sides of the spectrum dash. Wah! Cries the babies. Sometimes I don't know how we make do with 3 of them. He said as she giggled, and they went to see that they needed a change, sighing. It's about time they should be coming, so I'll be taking my leave. It's time to do some investigating of my own, said Naruto as he kissed Haku before teleporting. Asterisk, Sai asterisk. Now the only problem is these troublemakers, but I'll miss his cooking, oh well, she said as she did some cleaning as soon she felt their chakra as she opened the door before they knocked. Hello, may I help you? She asked with a sweet smile as they were amazed by her beauty. All right, we are here to ask you about your relations with Naruto, he said as she sighed, letting them in. Well, what do you want to know about him? She asked as they heard no such disdain, she said him. Right, what was Naruto to you? Narumi asked with some curiosity. Well, Naruto Yuzuke's was my boyfriend, and I still don't believe he would stoop so low. She said honestly, as there was no lie in that sentence. Right, I want to ask if you knew about any scroll he would try to hide. Mima asked as she took a thinking pose. Oh, right, the scroll of Hajuin. She said as they looked confused they never heard of such a weird name. What? They asked as she giggled, as she was no different from them. It was effectively a seal preventing the soul of this great calamity from finding a host, and from what he said, it could end the shinobi world. She explained with a serious tone, as they understood she wasn't joking. Wait, if it's that dangerous, shouldn't be somewhere in the Konoha safes? Mima asked as she shook her head. There were two reasons why. One is your village, or any other are far too weak to make sure it's safe from those who wish to unseal him. And two, someone would most likely try to unseal him to attempt sealing him into a vessel to gain more power, which unlike the tailed beast currently, he does not have a match, seeing as how Naru is dead. The only thing I know could match it was, I believe, the 10 tails from the era of the Sage of Six Paths. She explained, as even though their pride was hurt because she was calling them weak, but then again, she isn't wrong, they were both unable to defeat Pain, and one died. Because of that, while a large portion of the village was destroyed, plus he wasn't even the strongest as Ragnarok dismantled Kyumo, and recently, Idave by himself. So she had every right to say that. Look, I'll take a look at those scrolls and tell you if I find anything useful. She said as they looked surprised at her chakra mastery, as though they were reluctant they gave it to her anyway. She reads carefully as she explained to them that this is his training regime used to improve chakra in all aspects considerably, as well as one to improve the body, as she wrote everything on 2 different scrolls, as they were amazed by the difficulty of it. But the advantages were ridiculous. These scrolls can turn civilian genin stats to a umbu. Captain, in a 6 months' time, they were excited, but were stopped by Haku asking a question. What do you think about your brother being executed by the charge of treason? Asked Haku, as they couldn't find an answer, as part of them told them that he would never stoop so low, but the evidence was there. Or maybe it was planned. Well, I'm waiting for your answer, said Haku as they flinched at the tone, but before they could answer, they heard crying as she sighed, teleporting, then coming back as she had a bottle in her hands which she used her fire affinity to warm the bottle before feeding Hitsuguya. Well, she asked as Mima decides to answer. Well, at the time I didn't want to believe that he would stoop so low, but there was a lot of undeniable evidence. But now I'm not sure if he did try to kidnap Hinata or betraying his home. He said as she was a bit curious. We discovered that maybe he was possibly framed and planned against. Naruto had honor and would never fight someone who couldn't fight back, and it was a bit suspicious that he would try to take Hinata for himself if he had someone as beautiful as yourself. Narumi said as she giggled, a bit amused by their answers. Soon they took the scrolls, stood up and bowed. Thank you, Haku-sama. You have helped us a lot, they said in unison while bowing as she smiled. No worries, just do me a favor and make sure that if he was framed that you will clean his name, she said as they nodded in acknowledgement as they left. Mama, seems like someone has the nerve to try and poison my children. Asterisk ominous smile. Asterisk you're as good dead, she said as she looked to the side to see Sasori and Konan an extremely far distance as they soon run away, but they knew that they couldn't afford to return to the hideout, so they could only run away. How could she see through my poison and see us? Asked Sasori as they were sweating. I'm not sure, but we have to prepare for the fight of our lives, she said as she was terrified at the bloodlust directed towards her. Is it just me, or did she look rather mad for a split second when she fed the baby? Narumi asked as she remembered the spike in chakra with her eyebrow twitching. Now that you mentioned it, yes she did. Maybe it's because the milk was a bit expired and she wants only the freshest for her kid. Dad did say Mom did the same, said Minma with a shrug, as she could see that happening as they didn't think too much of it as they continued jumping from tree to tree. Dad, we are back and we got some more info, Minma said to Minato as he sent out his Umbu, Hayashi, and Fugaku, who were having a small chat about the situation. He activated a silence seal, then motioned for them to speak. Well, as for the meeting with Naruto, it went surprisingly well as we got some more info, said Narumi as Minma nods as he continued. The scroll Naruto hid was called the Scroll of Hajuin. Hajuin is a powerful spirit from the Sage of Six Paths time, as his strength rivaled that of the Jubi. It was defeated, but his soul remained intact, which if he wasn't sealed, it would have possessed somebody and caused great destruction. Meaning it was kept away from history to prevent someone from unleashing it in an attempt to control it, which would end up in failure. Explained Minma, as Minato nodded, a bit amazed at how dangerous this was, as well the large burden that was put on him at his young age. I see. Maybe it's best if we don't try looking for this scroll, stated Minato as his twins agreed. Back to the Ryujin house. Haku, I'm home, said Naruto, only to find a ominous, smiling Haku sharpening her sword. I'm not even going to ask, go nuts, he said as he sighed, taking out a bento box as she smiled and kissed him before vanishing. The kids looked curious where she went but forgot after getting their toys. We see Haku jumping from tree to tree till she reach a valley. Mama, you had 24 hours to prepare, and you did so little. I am greatly underwhelmed, she said, spreading a white mist fill with poisonous particles that will weaken people by a lot. Only her and Naruto are immune due to how seasoned their bodies were. She unsheathed her blade, cutting paper bombs and freezing them in an instant. A little slow, don't you think? She said, making the mist clearer to see Konan and Sasori. I use puppets for close combat. You keep attacking from a distance, he said quietly as she nodded, not aware she has heightened hearing. I style frozen dance, she said as she moved so fast it seemed like she was teleporting around the puppets as they turned to ice and then broke into tiny little pieces. Shit, Konan said as she made an explosive paper spear, throwing it while Sasori used his puppets to deliver an above-air attack. So naturally she would dodge, but two stitched-up hands would grab her feet as a giant bird came from behind and grabbed her Oswell, and the attacks all exploded, being heard for miles on end. That one pretty loud, we should be close, said Niji as the other teams gnawed. Konoha, and few hours earlier, Lord 4th Akatsuki members Kakuzu and Deidara are on the move. They have been spotted by Umbu, and though they were aware, they didn't seem to care it likely that something happened and are going to provide backup. Should I send a team? He asked as Minato was serious. Send in teams 7 to 9. He said as he nodded, making clones to go inform them. Back to action. The explosion dissipated to see a relatively unharmed Haku with only dust on her clothes as she dusted it off. Quite the impressive performance, if I do say so myself. Seems that you brought more victims to the slaughter, she said, smiling darkly, causing shivers to go down their spines as she vanished. Where is she? Wonders Kakuzu as they looked frantically since they couldn't sense her. You should look behind you, she answered, cutting Kakuzu in half as well as his limbs. That's one down, 3 more to go, she said as she appeared before Sasori, grabbing his face only for something to gather out just before crushing the mask. Quite the pathetic trick, don't you think? She said as Sasori was revealed as he turned into his human puppet form, summoning 5,000 puppets. Summoning Justu. Kakuzu used what little chakra he had left to summon 500 Zetsu and 25 large Zetsu. This might get a little messy, and seeing as how I wanted to test this out now is a better time than any, she said as she held her dual-wielded her katana, concentrating large amounts of chakra and wind, blowing them away while dropping the temperature to 0 degrees. We see the team a few hours away as soon snow starts falling. Hey guys, is it just me or is it snowing? Said Tintin as they stopped to see snowflakes, and before they could figure out what is happening, a large burst of wind blew them away as they used chakra to grab a hold of a tree as they shielded their eyes. The hell? Asked Ino as the wind soon stopped, as they saw was a frozen tundra with leaves frozen solid. Mima, you don't think? Started Narumi as he huffed her while he nodded. It's possible she's the last Yuki, so there aren't any ice users, so maybe, he said in a hushed tone as she nodded. Guys, let's move, said Shika as they continue. The hell? Said Deidara as he was blown away a few meters but caught himself and flew back to see a frozen tundra, and when he turned to look at the Zetsu, they were all frozen solid with some in pieces. How could one woman have so much power? Wondered Sasori as he and Konan had used almost all their chakra and barely made a shield strong enough to hold. As much as I want you to correct that statement, I'll let it slide. She is effectively a human-tailed beast. Agreed Konan as they get a clear look at Haku. She activated her signature, sealing just a dagger in Hyorimaru to make her body more power in the tundra. But this has 2 restrictions. One is area must be less than 0 degrees, and second, there must be snow. She is releasing a calming nature, drawing the chakra inwards as the Akatsuki felt like if they moved a step further they would undoubtedly die. Mama, seems like if you won't come to me, I'll come to you. She said she teleported to Conan, who was frozen in fear. No pun intended. She lifted her chin to face her. For such a beautiful woman like you to die truly is a shame, she said as she slowly turns her into a frozen statue of an angel. Forgive me, Zero, she thought with a tear escaping as she died a quiet and painless death. She did this to Sasori and Deidara as soon the temperature rose, as now all that was left were 3 frozen statues with no sign of them melting. We move to Naruto as he is relaxing with his kids. Gotta say, it's far more relaxing than finding info or fighting some new, he said as he was playing with Raiden as Hitsuya and Mikasa were being fed by clones. His eyes hardened as he grabbed his kids and teleported a distance from the house as it exploded. They are about to meet Kami, he growled as Mikasa was crying, and that's when he snapped. Get the kids to Haku. I'll deal with the Akatsuki, he said as they nodded, vanishing as he summoned the staff of 6 realms to see which dumb Akatsuki attacked his home. Which one of you dumb foo dash, he started only to realize that they were Umbu. Rude Umbu. You got some balls, Danzo, I'll give you that, but your soldier boys won't be coming back. He growled as the staff vanished with a knuckle duster on his right fist. They go into fighting stances as he saw they were a few 1,000. Fire style, flame fists. His knuckles ignited into a beautiful blue as he started the offense, punching so hard he took out 300 men. Water style, water bullet. Fire style, fireball. Earth style, mud bullet. Lighting style, lightning Simban. Wind style, gale burst. They shout in perfect sync as he was surrounded by all the elements, as when they were about to hit, a gargantuan aura burst forth, blowing away the attacks and the Umbu. Wait, Ms. Haku, shouted Menma as she turned to see them with the other teams. Did you do this? Asked Naruto as she nodded. Yes, what about it? She asked as they were stunned by her nonchalant tone. I never knew you were this strong. How come you retired? Asked Naruto as she was about to answer when the clones appeared with the kids. Her eyes turned to distress when she saw her kids, but calmed down when she saw they were fine with no injuries. Ambush, we were attacked, but we saw it coming and fled before they got hurt, they said in a monotonous tone as she held her babies to calm them down. What about my husband? What happened to him? She asked, worried but more importantly angered. He is fighting the assailants, they said as they poof out of existence. What happened? Asked Hinata as they caught a glimpse of the clones' faces, but not good enough to know who they were. Nothing to worry about. It seems that we need to move them to their grandma and grandpa, she said as before she could leave they were attacked by an Umbu, but she teleported a distance away. What are you doing? She is an ally, so as the son of the Hokage. Stand down, commanded Menma as he saw the Umbu mask and used his authority as the son of Minato to his advantage. They aren't a part of the Umbu, started Haku quietly to them as they got on guard, protecting Haku and the kids. Move ahead, we got this, said Sakura as she was reluctant but nodded. Her kids were the main priority. Lord Danzo, we have ambushed the Ryujin household, but we're unable to acquire the children for bargaining chips for their service. And the one with the children, Haku, is being protected by the company of the Yuzukes, stated a root commander as he grumbled. He had been aware that he was alive. After all, he is one of the few people who knew where they discarded him. So when they discovered he was a clone, he kept it as close-chested as possible. Only commanders are aware. Get those kids. If you get those children, my rise to Hokage will be inevitable with their power. Target only the children they will be forced to block, he said with greed in his eye. He nods, relaying the info to target the children. The area Naruto was in was full of dead bodies in a barren wasteland. Thought only a few minutes had passed, he released his full power in one go as he used Nirvana to find that Haku is being targeted. You have made an enemy with the wrong man, Konoha, he growled as he raced to their location, appearing as a blur as animals ran for life or froze in fear as he released bloodlust. Currently, Haku was struggling as she used the mirror technique to dodge and evade. They kept on destroying every mirror she made, as well as providing aid to Menma and his allies. Haku, we can keep them busy. They are targeting the kids. The faster you leave, the better, he shouted using Kurama's chakra as he almost got his arm blown off when protecting Haku and Kurama. He was actively using his chakra to heal Minma and defend Haku. "Don't worry, we got this," said Lee as she stopped as she looked to the side, smiling. "You're finally here." She started as the babies were giggling. The battle stops as they feel a terrifying chakra coming as Hinata and Niji are shaking as this malice. This unadulterated anger was coming in and fast. "What is this?" they all thought as they involuntarily shook in fear as the presence appeared in front of Haku. "So fast," the team thought as when they were about to attack the figure. "Dada," shouted the babies as they were trying to grab a hold of him. "Yes, my babies, Daddy's here," he said, smiling, but everyone else knew that they were darkness in that smile. "Dear, go with the Yuzuke's group. I'll deal with these ruffians," he said as he looked at the Umbu branding a lion's scythe of gold. "And besides, he wants more souls," he said as they lion mouth burst a very dark orange and black fire as they shielded themselves from the heat. "Very well," she said, obeying her husband's orders, leaving while the rest followed suit. "What is he going to do to them?" asked Niji as she smiled. "Most likely absorb their souls and go after the one who ordered this attack," she said calmly as they shuddered. "You have truly amazed me," he said, applauding them as they took a step back. "Sadly, if this was anyone except my kids or wife, you would have a swift end. This was my wife, she would have ended you. But you will suffer, for these 5 minutes will last for centuries," he said as his voice to a dark turn as time slowed down till animals didn't move at all. "I have slowed time to 0.111 of a sec. Now let's begin," he said as he started the offensive, unleashing karma as it burned them, as he continued, even using justice to drown, suffocate, choke, and other painful torture methods. "Now enjoy you painful ends, as since your body is moving at the speed of light. So once I slow down, you can't touch this," he said, shuffling as his body slowed down till it stopped as they were stuck with their screams of pain and torture. "Ato," Naruto said as he teleported behind Haku, which scared her, but she recovered fast. "Oh, Kami, you scared me," she said as they all landed. "How's your arm?" he asked as he saw it was badly charred. "I'll be fine, but who were those people?" he asked as Naruto wasn't showing annoyance because his kids always came before his feelings. "They were Danzo lapdogs, also known as Rudumbu, his personal weapons," he explained as he took Mikasa and Raiden. "How come you know this?" asked Shikamaru. "I have a very advanced spy network," he said bluntly. "I will pay when I get the chance. Our house got blown up," he said, but was interrupted. "We don't need money, but maybe we can get some info," started Minma. "Huh, look at that. He knows how to bargain. Even if I don't like him, I can respect that," Naruto thought as Haku giggled in amusement. "That depends on what info you want to know," he said. "Info on Ragnarok," he said as this interested Naruto. "Why him? He is the most dangerous," he stated as he thought. "Ragnarok?" he wondered in anticipation. "I got nothing," he said as the anime fell. "Well, do you have any info on why they want the orbs?" he asked. "Those orbs are used to remove high-level seals' negates, and unless you are of a certain extinct bloodline, you can't use them," he said as he approached Menma. "Give me the hurt arm," he said as though he was reluctant. He did so. Soon, a green glow flowed around his arm as it healed rapidly. Such high, healing justu. They thought as soon as arm was back to full power. "Consider this a thanks and tell Danzo this. He will be facing me again," he said as he walked on with Haku as they vanished. "He looked awfully similar to someone, don't you think?" said Tenten as some nods. "Kinda looked like an adult Naruto," said Choji as they brushed it off since 1 he was dead, and 2 he didn't have black and blonde hair, and 3 dead. "But won't lie, he is kinda hot, a shame he's married," said Ino with a dreamy eye when she saw his face. "Let's go back. We can most likely get into contact with him easier than traveling to the middle of the woods," Naruto joked as they looked at her. "Let's get this info to the Hokage quick," said Minma before they could interrogate Naruto. As they left to Konoha, "I truly didn't expect you to not release any foul intent towards your former family, but actually show gratitude," laughed Haku, holding Hitsuguya as Naruto rolled his eyes. "As far as I'm concerned, they think I'm dead, and besides, Ryujin Naruto doesn't know anyone from Kanagakur, so why should I show malice? Stated Naruto as she smiled as soon they entered a misty area. Seems like we're getting close. We should be there in a bit, said Naruto as the babies giggles excited to meet their grandparents, Mei and Zabuza. They enter the borders as they see a familiar face. Hello, Utakata, said Haku as they looked to the side. Utakata is a tall, thin young man with pale, golden eyes and brown hair. He wears a long, light blue kimono adorned with a small emblem of 3 bubbles on the back and a pair of gray pants underneath, with an orange sash, and he carries a bamboo jug filled with a soap solution and a pipe. It's nice to see Lady Haku and Naruto as well, he said as he entered. He isn't much of a talker as always, sighed Naruto as they entered, going to the Mizukage Tower. Hello, mother, said Naruto as they entered through the front door. She smiled, standing up her seat to approach the couple to hug them. It's good to see you once again. Nara thought I'd have to wait till after the Akatsuki thing to see my grandbabies, said Mei swaddling Raiden and the baby laughing. Believe it or not, we are back, and we will be here for a while, so get comfy, said Naruto as she squeals. I can finally dash. You still have the Akatsuki to deal with. Haku interrupted as she sulked. There we will spoil them rotten after this is all over, said Haku as Naruto shivered. Is my bank account going to be all right? All right, Haku. I'll be going for a bit, he said as she kissed Haku and bowed towards Mei before teleporting. You don't think he has a different family to take care of? Asked Mei with a sly smirk as a tick mark appeared on Haku. Don't insinuate my husband is a liar, she said as she followed Mei to her house. We see the Konoha 13 just arrive as they immediately go towards the Kage Tower. Dad, it's Danzo, shouted Menma, as before he could explain Koharu interrupted. Yes, we are aware that he has been kidnapped, she said as they were stunned. What? Asked Sasuke as he counsel raised their eyebrows. I thought you knew about his kidnapping. It happened a few hours ago. We are searching throughout the entire area, said Sum. Flashback. We see the council in an emergency meeting by the responsive Danzo. What is the point of this meeting, Danzo? Asked an annoyed Fugaku. This annoyed nature was replaced when he saw the small panic in his eyes. I have info that you all would like to hear, he said. And we would like to hear what you have to say, Danzo, growled Naruto with his mask on, as this panicked Danzo and the rest were on high alert. He expelled a large amount of bloodlust, freezing everyone. You have balls, Danzo, but you don't have a brain, he growled as he stood up and summoned his staff of the 6 realms, shocking everyone. That man is the one who brought Menma back to life, they thought as they recognized the gold staff. Spin 6 realms, he said as the staff head unfurled into multiple open scrolls, as then a heat radiated, forcing them to cover their eyes. When they opened their eyes, they said the majestic staff turned into a scythe with a lion head. He soon grabs him by his face as they vanish. Into flashback. He is definitely fast, said Niji as they were curious. They explained what happened as this caused bloodlust to fill the room with the Konoha 13 a bit unnerved. That bastard, shouted Tsunade as she put a hole through the table. Where is he so I can rip his eyes out myself? Shouted Sum as the rest were equally pissed well, except 2. I believe he was right, said Koharu as they turned to her so fast it could be considered whiplash. Care to say that again? Growled Minato. He was right. We all know who he was thanks to that staff. He likely sent his own task force to convince us to help us, said Hamaru as Fugaku had his Sharingan blazing. So blackmailing them with their children's lives is his way of convincing them to help us? Shouted Kushina as they snorted. So, what they are 2 people, what can they do? She said with a snobby tone, as before they could say anything. Naruto teleported back. I'm back from dealing with the clown, but it seems that the Konoha elders are a circus act, he said as they stood on guard. Umbu, arrest him, commanded Koharu as when the Umbu was about to move close to the wall back, crashing into the wall. Came to merely inform you of the misdeeds of the elders. With that, I'll be taking my leave, he said, slamming a folder in Minato's face and teleported back to Mizu. Wait, and he's gone, sighed Narumi as before they can ask what the folder was about. Killing intent released as they thought Naruto was back, but they saw it was Minato. Umbu, send them to jail until further notice. Bellowed Minato as before they could protest. They were knocked and escorted to them, staging a coup against the Uchiha, selling Hyuga's secrets, as well as planning to use my children to control the village. Danzo, I hope you died a painful death, said Minato with unadulterated hatred, as well as the rest of the council soon. Mima ran through the papers till he stopped at one. Dad, look at this, said Mima as he gave him after reading. After reading, he was shocked. So that's why we can't find his body, said Minato to himself, as this intrigued the council. Can't find whose body? Asked some as Minato looked to sweat a bit. Minato, me, and Hayashi have been curious. You three have been very secretive. Tell us, we deserve to know, said Fugaku as Minato sighed. Promise me this, everyone, that you all won't react, he said as this surprised everyone as the promised. This paper is one that said Danzo sold a body to the Akatsuki, he said as they were shocked. Did he sell one of the Hokage's bodies? Asked Shikaku. He hesitated for a bit. And Naruto, said Mima in a low tone as those that heard were shocked. What did you just say, Naruto? As in the rapist? And a traitor to Konoha? Shouted Hayashi as they looked down with Hinata having a scared look. They explained their entire secret mission. Wait. You're telling me he Master Ri Taekwondo kept a sealed demon from Konoha's security, and to top it all of the shit cake, his body was taken, and God knows what experiments to improve their own, stated Fugaku as he sighed, wondering how they weren't notified about this earlier. Why did you not tell us? Asked Jiraiya. We had to make sure we weren't being tricked, he said as soon Shikamaru spoke up. Something doesn't make any sense. If Naruto went through all this trouble to hide this from us and the Akatsuki, why would he make a deal with them? Asked Shikamaru as this got a lot of people thinking. He has a point. Kinda defeats the purpose of a hidden ally to the Akatsuki if he hid something so important, Shikaka said. Before more could be said, a shinobi opened the doors. Akatsuki. They are here. We see Naruto and the Mizu relaxing with sake till he opens his eyes wide. There you are, he said as he stood up. Honey, I found Zero. I'll be going, he said as she nodded. And he teleported while she was about to relax. She sensed hundreds of life forms coming. Shit, she said as she summoned her Kidna and teleported to the tower. Mother, there is a large attack happening in 3 directions. North, west, and south. They have 5 dead chakra signatures. Reanimation. Notify everyone. They are reanimation's dead corpses. Tell them to make a sealing team. I'll hold them off with the monsters, she said as Mei was shocked, but regained her senses and nodded. Right, you go south. Zabuza will lead a team north, and I'll take a team west, she said as Halu teleported. It's a 3-directional attack. There is only the masked man in the west side and hundreds of white creatures 20 meters and some the size of an average man. They are targeting our people, and from the other villages they are facing the same problems, he reported as Minato turned serious. Gather everyone. Rin, Kakashi, Fugaku, Hayashi Itachi, and Shursui will take a team north. Sanin takes a group west, and I'll take a group south. Now go, he commanded as everyone laughed the go battle. We see Naruto in a forest. A forest, eh? It's not bad. The perfect place to fall into a trap. I guess you do have my DNA after all. So? Said Naruto as he looked to the side to see Zero, the clone made of his and Tonari genetic makeup, sitting on a dead bear. We see a cackling Tonari as he seems everything is coming to plan. Finally, both villages are being attacked, and Naruto knows his son's identity. Now, we can deal with all 3 of them at the same time. We have to distract him for a while longer, he said before coughing. We see Haku on the south area as there were 5 men standing. 5 of the legendary swordsmen of the mist. I would like to say it is a true honor to meet you, but sadly it's on the opposite fields of battle. Where are my manners? I am the daughter of Zabuza Momoichi, the current wielder of the chipless blade, she said as they nodded, seeing her katana. I see you are a fellow follower of the blade. Let's see how good you are, they said as they summoned their blades. She unsheathes her blade as she charges. As she was about to attack the closest one, she jumped back as a large needle passed her face. A bit dramatic much, she said as she grabbed it, throwing back so hard it broke the sound barrier. It pierced his heart, as before he could remove his blade. He started getting covered in ice, and before he could react, he was covered in ice frozen solid. The moment she grabbed the blade, she placed a seal. "She is truly a dangerous woman," said the one with the explosive axe as they soon charged at her. "I style, snowflake with her," she said as she swiped her blade towards them, unleashing large amount of snowflakes. Since they were dead, they charged in as before they could get close, they started freezing. "They have seals on them as well?" they thought as they jumped out her range. "Guess she dangerous in long range," one said as they prepared to adjust. "Water style, water torrent," they said in unison as a tidal wave surged towards her. "Ice style, Arctic point," she said as she trusted her sword as it unleashed a white light through the tidal wave and as one of the swordsmen. Before they could move, the tidal wave split before instantaneously freezing over as well at the man that was hit. "Such power," one muttered amazed. "You have made obvious you are one of the best swordsmen in terms of chakra usage. But let us see your skills before you could be acknowledged as the 8th legendary swordswoman." One said, "I would be honored," she said elegantly, rushing as they clashed. We see Konoha handling the situation perfectly as we see the masked man battling Minato. "You are outnumbered, and soon those creatures you summoned will be defeated," said Fugaku as he confronted the masked man, as before he could make a rebuttal, Minato hit him on the mask, sending him into the forest, hitting a tree and breaking his mask as well. "It's over," said Minato as he confronted the masked man, as when he saw him, he was shocked. "Obito," said Minato in shock as the masked man was the student that vanished. "Itachi, use your Sharingan and see if it is a Jinjutsu and see if you can break it," said Minato to the appearing Umbu. He nodded, taking him to a private place. "So how come you have wasted all this time with someone like Tonari?" asked Naruto as he sneered. "He was the one that gave me life, power. He gave me a soul, something you didn't do," he growled as Naruto scoffed. "I made you fake my death. I didn't want to make a life," he said bluntly as this pissed off Zero as he exerted so much blood, lust the life in a 50-yard radius withered and died except Naruto. "Are you done, you baby?" asked Naruto as Zero wanted nothing more than to rip him to pieces. But he knew Naruto had a higher power level. "You know what? Enjoy what little time you have with your kids, because after I'm done with you, I'm coming for them," he said in a mocking tone as before he could do something, he found a gold sigh that his neck burning some of his skin. "Know this. So, you're only alive because I made your body, and he still has some uses for you, so don't push your luck till the end," he said in a deadly calm tone as this got a shudder from Zero. Naruto was about to leave when Zero threw a sunbon in a direction. "Like I would dash, shit," shouted Naruto as he teleported in front of the sunbon as he grabbed Mikasa. Flashback. We see Haku battling 4 of the 7 swordsmen of the mist as 2 weren't in the area. We see one sneaking into their house. As she stealthily entered, he barely avoided the hundreds of seals, making it to a crib holding the asleep babies. She was disgusted at being forced to do this, but the seal binding his soul is preventing him from making any mistakes or screaming. "I'm sorry," she said as she placed a seal on Mikasa teleporting. She had sounded the alarms. As Haku was battling, she felt a burning sensation on her arm as fury engulfed her eyes. "I style, freezing fire," as she summoned a white flame that melted the area around her before freezing over instantly. She stopped the 4 swordsmen as she did a mad dash to her kids, breaking the sound barrier 4x. In a flashback, Naruto held Mikasa as he inflated his arm, forming a barrier for her. It pierced his skin and then took immediate effect, slowing him down as Zero teleported in front of Naruto. "Sadly, you are my enemy," he said as he summoned chains that entered his body, stealing a portion of his powers in the form of a glowing orb. "Shit," he thought as he slowly fell. "The power you have has been wasted. I will not waste it, nor will I waste the 10 Tails power," he said looking down at Naruto, who got up and teleported back. "Run while you can. You only have mere months before you are doomed, so enjoy your final moments with your family," he said teleporting. We see Obito in the hospital as we see him stirring before abruptly waking up sweating. All that happened. All of it wasn't a dream. Damn it," he said as he started spiraling only to stop when someone hugged him. "Rin," he thought as he saw the hair of his girlfriend. He embraced her back as he allowed her to continue to sob on him. Soon, Minato, Itachi, Kakashi, and the Konoha 13 arrived as they saw Rin and Obito in a revealing position. Not a word, he said as he could tell they were about to say something. We wouldn't, and besides, this isn't what we are here for. We are here because we need to know what happened when you were in Akatsuki, said Minato as he sighed. After he recollected his thoughts, he couldn't hide his guilt and pity for them. Are you sure you want to know? He asked in a small tone, as they could tell it was something personal. Yes, no matter how personal, please tell us, he said. Besides, they stole the orb, no point in hiding this from us. Kiba said with a snort as he sighed. You remember when you sent to a small village close by AIM to deal with thugs? Well, when I was on my way back, I met Nagato, or, as you know him, Pain. He said as they tensed at that name. How couldn't they? He came in and defeated them, and if it wasn't for that mysterious man appearing, they would have lost. Safe to say I lost, and was brought to their leader Tonari Otsutsuki, the only person of a forgotten clan. He explained as they kept quiet. He placed me in a Jinjusta that forced me to take orders and do things I'm not proud of. He said as he looked down. We understand that it's hard, but please continue. Minato said, I caused the QB incident. He said as this silenced them, as they were all shocked. You were the masked man? Minato asked as he nodded in guilt. I tried to stop myself, but his grip was too strong. I should be killed for treason and what I did to him. He said in shame. No. You weren't in control of your actions. I won't punish you for actions that you weren't in control of. Minato said as he still kept his head down in shame. Who do you mean by him? Asked Niji as he looked at him before he placed his hand on his scarred eye. I'm not sure if I should say, he said as he remembered what they did to him. What did you do? Asked Rin as she was worried. Naruto. He whispered. What did you say? Asked Naruto as he looked at her. It was Naruto, and I'll explain his story. The one he hid from everyone. He said, as there were a lot of mixed feelings. Some felt anger and other curiosity, but they all kept quiet. He started explaining, as while he was explaining, he could tell there was more and more guilt building up. He told them of him defeating Pain at 14 to his abilities and to his alleged death. He was about to say that it was false when Naruto ran out with the reality with the Konoha 13 following. We see Haku internally panicking. My poor baby is stuck in Kami knows we're cold alone. Into dash. Haku, I'm back with my princess. Shouts Naruto as she speeds to the door with Hitsuguya and Raiden in tow. Thank Kami, she said in relief as she grabbed Mikasa before realizing he was hurt. Let me go put them to bed. I'll get the med kit, so sit on the coach and relax, she said quickly after seeing purple line protruding from a hole in his forearm. She quickly placed them into their cribs before getting the med kit in the bathroom, then sitting next to her husband. You okay? She asked concerned as he sighed. No, other than taking poison, protecting my daughter from my clone son, and having a part of my soul taken. Yeah, I'm peachy, he said sarcastically as she sighed. She finished extracting the poison and bandaging him up. You should get rest. I'll do the house, she said as he shook his head about to get up when she went on his lap, staring at his blue eyes with her brown eyes. You aren't in the best state of mind, and you must rest your body. No excuses, she states as he sighs, hugging her and pushing his head into her chest. If my wife gives me an order, I have no choice but to comply, he said as he smirked, and they dropped on the couch, making her shriek a bit. But you aren't working either, he said as she blushed before calming down. Naruto, shouts Menma as they were able to catch up to her. He wasn't done, he explained as she started crying. We did that to him. We his own blood betrayed him after everything he did. I can't hear any more, she sobbed as they came near her. We don't even have a tombstone for him. We abandoned him, disowned him, she said in a cracking voice. All the memories they had with him were killing them. He was the perfect shinobi and brother, yet we, his own family, didn't trust him, she said as he soon sat next to her. Believe me, if he came back to kill us, I wouldn't blame him. We are the worst, he said, rubbing the bridge of his nose. I loved him, yet believed he would do that to me. All he wanted was to be acknowledged, but all he got was execution for a crime he didn't do. How can I look at him now? Mutters a crying Hinata as everyone was swallowed by self-hatred, guilt, and pity. Well, if it helps, he is alive, said Obito. They turned to him, seeing that he was supported by Kakashi, as this was news to them. What do you mean? I saw him get stabbed through his heart. I understand that you want to help them emotionally, but he is gone, said Kakashi as he was annoyed that he would lie to them to make them feel better. No, he is very much alive. We had wanted to use the reanimation technique to bring him on our side, but failed, which after 5 more tries we had made peace with the fact that he might be alive. That was confirmed by Haku mysteriously quitting being a ninja to be with her boyfriend Naruto Ryujin. He appeared after his death, so the timeliness tracks. He explained as soon it hit them like a brick. The man we saw with Haku was Naruto, muttered Sasuke as they saw a resemblance, but shrugged it off as coincidence. Now, it made sense. He knew of Root, and that is something that was kept off even the Hokage's presence. I will prepare a journey to Mizubikure. We will likely have to inform the other Kage of their plans, said Minato, wondering how he would explain this to Kushina. Whether he started with the fact that her disowned son was alive or that he was framed, she would be devastated. They all nod as they go home, all wallowing in guilt as they can't even hope for forgiveness. Dad, do you think he will forgive us? Asked Naruto as he sighed, rubbing his eyes. He has been devastated with this news. Kami knows how Kushina will deal with it. Don't worry. Let's hope he understands, he said as he went first to explain this to Kushina and the Sannin. Unknown location. We see a laughing Zero as he is holding the head of Tonari, laughing maniacally. You thought I would obey you like some little dog? Wrong. Enjoy hell, he states, crushing the head before he began the excruciatingly long process of merging to Jubi, Naruto's soul's fragment, and himself. We see the Konoha 13 with Kushina, the Sannin, Kakashi, Obito, and Rin. Are you all ready? Obito asked as they nodded. Flashback. Minato arrives home as he sees his wife and the Sannin. Why have you called us here, Minato? Asked Orochimaru as he sighed. It's complicated. He sighed as he sat down and rubbed his eyes. Minato was rubbing his eyes to prevent tears. Tears from neglecting his eldest. Tears from condemning him without a reason. He felt that he had done the right thing, but now that all was revealed, he felt that he had lost his son before he was a genin. This surprised them as they could tell that he was far more mentally exhausted than ever. Kushina came and hugged him as though she wanted a firm answer. She felt he was in disarray. He felt lost. It's okay. Just try to explain so we can help. She smiled. She knew Minato since they were kids. They knew each other like the back of their hands. So seeing him so lost and hurt gave her an obligation to help him. It's not just some mistake that can be corrected, he said through his hands as this confused everyone. It's Naruto, said Minma as the two entered. What about him? Did he make some deals we were not made aware of? Asked Jiraiya as he was keeping an open mind. After all the info about him hiding scrolls from Akatsuki, he didn't know what to think of the kid anymore. He was framed, said Minato in a cracking voice. This froze them as Minma and Naruto just went to their rooms in silence. What did you say? Asked Tsunade as he started to cry. He was framed. Everything that happened at the Chunin exams was staged against him. We killed him, he shouted as he felt rage, guilt. Hey, he soon explained what Obito told them, as by the time he was done, Tsunade and Kushina were extremely close to breaking down with Orochimaru and Jiraiya shocked. They did all that just to kill that boy? Asked Orochimaru in a silent tone as placed the pieces together. He always felt that something was holding back the boy. He never showed his true capabilities, and it made sense to use his home. He knew for a fact that Konoha hated him and were merely waiting for him to commit a crime to get back at him for the Kyuubi incident. Kami, prayed Tsunade as she shakily sat down. She thought that boy would always be in the shadow of his siblings, but as they progressed, he seemed to always be ahead. His skills were shocking to everyone. I killed my baby, thought Kushina as she was staring to Spiral. All those memories with his son started to haunt her. Ka-san, Ka-san, Ka-san. She kept hearing those words from a child version of Naruto. We have reason to suspect that he might be alive going by Ryujin. I'll be sending the Konoha 13 with my former student to see if he can help us, he said as soon Kushina stops him. I'm coming. If there is even a small chance that he is my son, I have to see him. Please, Minato, she said as she felt her tears about to go over the edge. He looks at the Sannin as they nods, choosing to come with. He accepts and tells them that he will teleport them to the closest village to Mizu in the morning as the Sannin left to prepare, and Minato went back to the office. With Minato, after he teleports to his office, he activates a silencing seal as he lets out a scream of pure anger. I killed him! He shouts in anger as he throws the papers and objects on his table before punching the table. All that was felt was rage as he punched the table with enough force to crack it in half. He soon sits down, tired as he cries once again. I killed him. He sobs as he fell to his knees. With Kushina, she was a mess. She went to their room and started crying her heart out as she held a picture of them as a family. She had tried finding anything else of him only to realize that she had next to nothing as they had thrown it away. Or she believed until Naruto came in with some of Naruto's old stuff. She was able to calm herself enough to browse through the box to see a picture that had all of them smiling. Smiling with Naruto ruffling his now ex-sibling's hair. You were my eldest boy, yet I did that to you. I'm sorry, my Misuko. She cried as she fell asleep, only to be plagued with nightmares. End of flashback. I take it you all are ready? Asked Minato as they nod. He makes a pentagon that they enter as they are teleported to a small village outskirt. Mizu is just beyond the forest. Make sure you stay close as the mist gets very thick. He instructs them as they start their journey. As they were traveling, they all saw as the Yuzukes were moving faster. Hey, slow down, shouts Kiba as they ignored him. Let them go. If you were in their position, you would do the same thing, stated Sasuke as they sped up to catch up to them. If you were my brother, why did you help us? Thought Menma as he kept on replaying everything that had happened. My Misuko, please forgive your mother. Kushina prayed in her heart. She hoped that some way he would forgive her. We see the Ryujin household as Haku wakes up to Naruto, sleeping peacefully. He is out like a light. The babies are asleep. It's truly a good day that can't be ruined. She smiled satisfied as she put on a robe and made food for herself. She had a small breakfast, not knowing the stress and problems that was to come this in the evening. Morning, honey, Naruto said without his shirt as he kissed her cheek and made tea. How was your night? She asked as he sat next to her with tea. It was good. It would be better if we had some fun. He flirts as she blushed but laughed as his antics. We already have 3. I don't think we need more, she says as he wrapped his arms around her waist. Just because we have kids doesn't mean we can't have any more fun. Besides, we are still young, so why not have more fun? He states as she giggled in amusement. You really wanna? She asked as he nodded excitedly. Maybe later, she said as his head fell in disappointment. You're mean. He pouts as she laughs. They got attended to the children as Naruto played with Raiden and Hitsuguya, while Haku read a story to Mikasa. What a perfect day, said Naruto as he heard the children yawn. This is a perfect day. Usually, they are more energetic, said Haku as they placed the children to bed. Let's have some fun, said Haku with a smile, placing her hands under her chest, making it look bigger and more seductive. Finally, said Naruto as he picked her up bridal style going to the bedroom. They started to undress and began to make out. As they played with each other, they were about to go to the next level till they felt the chakra of 20 people coming. Shit, they said at the same time, disappointed that they couldn't progress further. They clothed themselves as when Naruto was about to go confront them, Haku stopped him. I'll see who it is. You will likely kill them, she said as they realized that they were Konoha Nin. He nodded begrudgingly as she went down to confront them. Wow, who knew he was so well off? Awed Tsunade, as from the stories they heard, he was the son of the man who defeated the Three Tails. They make it to the outskirts where they saw a rather large compound. That's where they live? Asked Kiba, as they were amazed at the beautiful compound. They went to the front door, but before Kushina could knock, Haku opened the door. May I help you? She asked Kushina, as those that haven't seen her were stunned by her beauty. Holy crap, she's stunning, said Kiba as he felt his heart being tugged. Hello, Haku-san. Greets Obito as her eyes sharpen. His chakra. He was the masked man. She thought as it now clicked. They know. We came here to talk with your husband, Mr. Ryujin. Explain Obito as she nods. Well, what you can say to my husband, you can say to me, she states confidently. Please, it is important that we speak to him, begged Kushina as this mildly irritated her, so she stopped playing. Okay, so you figured it out. Why would I let you see my husband after everything you did to him? She asked, visibly annoyed. This stunned them as they thought she wasn't aware. Listen, Mrs. Ryujin. We need to see Naruto, begged Jiraiya, as before she could say anything, he came to the door in all his glory. You wanted to see me? So what do you want? He asked, glaring at them. Naruto, said Kushina as her eyes were glassy. You wanted to see me. Well, I'm here, so what do you want? He asked, annoyed as Tsunade stepped forward. We wish to ask you something, she stated as he raised an eyebrow. What? He asked simply as she grew nervous under his dark gaze. Why didn't you tell them? Your very own family. Your true self. She asked as he scoffed. My family wouldn't have neglected me. He states as this caused Minma and Naruto to look down as he looked bored. That is no H-. I swear if you tell me that they are my family, you will be going to the next world. He interrupted Jiraiya as he flinched. Soon, Kushina approached as she attempted to place a hand on his cheek, stopped by Haku. That is as close as you get, she states, gently pushing her back. A part of her was mad at Haku for not allowing her to touch her own son, but she deserved not to as she didn't believe him. If that is all you want to know, please leave. He states as Obito stood forward. Wait, we want you to come with us, he said suddenly as this stopped him. Care to repeat that? He asked as his eyes showed rage. He has gotten the chakra orbs and a part of your soul, whether you like it or not. We need each other help, he said as he scoffed. Oh, and what can you provide me? He asked as this silenced him. Nothing, he said as he was about to close the door. Your children's safety, he shouts as this angered Naruto and shocked everyone there. You were lost a part of your soul because Mizu wasn't as guarded. Thus, your child life was threatened. Konoha has much more protection compared to the other villages. He explains as this, though annoying, he made good points. After sighing, he spoke up. We will discuss this, he said, annoyed as he closed the door, causing Obito to sigh in relief. The GKI has kids? Asked Jiraiya as he nodded. Yeah, 3 of them, he said as this was even more surprising to Kushina. I'm a grandmother, and I didn't even know it. I'm the worst. She thought she was a bit happy knowing she had grandkids, but remembered she disowned him. So yeah, very complicated emotions. We should wait by the trees knowing him. It will take a while, he said as they nodded. We are going, said Naruto while Haku said, we are staying, at the same time shocking them both. They never really came to different answers, so this was new. He is right. We can't stay here. If we do, they might as well be left to the wolves. He states as she shook her head. No, we can put them in a secure space that will safeguard them. And I don't want you to reopen closed wounds, she said in worry as he sighed. You and our kids are my main priority. This isn't up for discussion, he states in a serious tone, as though he might hate Konoha. He knew they could protect his kids and, if needed, be a possible second home for them to hide from Zero I they fail. You shouldn't put us over yourself, she said sadly as he gave her a passionate kiss. Why shouldn't I protect my most precious things? He asked as she couldn't help but smile. Phoenix, we'll do it, she agreed as he smiled, and they hugged. I'll tell them you prepare our things, he said as she laughed. Too bad we couldn't go further, he said as she shook her hips seductively. Maybe next time, she said as he sighed, going to the Konoha team. Can't believe I'm an aunt. Maybe we could have been spoiling them if we didn't do all that stuff. Naruto said sadly as Mima nodded, agreeing. Though I wouldn't be surprised if Mom buys some things for them, he said as she laughed sadly. Kushina is in emotional turmoil as she was fighting the urge to barge in and see her grandbabies. Luckily, she is mentally strong enough to hold herself back at least better than Tsunade, who was on her way to see them. Before she could open the door, Naruto opened it. Naruto! Shouts Tsunade in surprise, as she was surprised she couldn't sense him. And what do you want? Let me guess you want to see them, he asked, closing the door behind him, as she was embarrassed. He soon sees the Konoha group approach as they are nervous. I have come to a decision, he said as this made them tense up. Very well. He agreed as this surprised everyone. Haku will be done packed soon, so you can go and eat or something and come back here in a few. he said, flickering to Zabuza house to explain that they will be going to Konoha to him and maybe drink some sake. That was tense, said Rin, grabbing her boyfriend as he sighed. He is really intimidating, he said, relieved that they agreed. I have notified Minato that they are coming. He has given Shizen the task to find a house suitable for a house of 5. Jiraiya said as they nodded to only realize that Tsunade was gone and the door slightly opened. Well, that isn't good, said Orochimaru as Kushina hurriedly enters to get her out, forcing the twins to follow suit. Mom! Bachan, this is a bad idea, said Minma in a hushed tone as they didn't seem to listen or care. It's just one look, she said, forgetting that Haku could sense them the moment they entered the house. I will deal with them if they step out of line, she thought, shrugging as she was picking which kimono would be cuter. I think I sense their chakra over here, said Naruto as this shocked Minma. I thought we were stopping them, said Minma in a hushed tone as they follow Kushina, who opened a door to find a crib. They slowly walked as they could tell they were asleep. Kushina, Naruto, and Tsunade coo at their cuteness as they are cuddling each other. They're adorable, whispers Kushina as she and the other two were held back by Minma. Okay, that is as far as you will go. Let's get out before Dash. He was interrupted by the babies crying. Welp, I had a nice life, he said, knowing full well that Haku will kill them if Naruto doesn't. So this is how I die? By the actions of my own mother, grandma, and sister, he said, accepting his fate as they were trying to calm them down as they sensed her chakra coming. As she opened the door, she saw them trying to calm the babies as she couldn't care less about them. Next time, don't trespass into someone's home, she said as she picked them up, leaving. They all breathe in relief as he glares at the women with them sweating nervously. Well, that went better than expected, laughed Tsunade as he left in a huff. How did it go? Asked Rin as he ignored them. Go ask them, he said as they turned to the women. Not well, said Sasuke as they laughed nervously. After an hour, we see Haku exit with a large scroll as Naruto teleports back, taking the scroll and getting a peck on the lips. Let's get this over with, he said, annoyed as the Konoha Nin nodded as they exited Mizu with them, beginning their journey. Hey Naruto, shouts Kiba as Naruto got annoyed. What? He asked as they purposely moved ahead to avoid conversations. What have you been doing since you've been gone? He asked, trying to strike a conversation as the other were nervous to make that same step. Enjoying my peace, he said, trying to end the conversation as Mikasa starts cooing. Dada, she said as he smiled, as some smiled hearing her. Maybe you can join us at the barbecue house, he said as this annoyed him, confused the triplets, and Haku giggled. I heard there are some menus for babies, offered Choji as he grunts in frustration. Sorry to burst your bubble, but he will likely have to get used to living back at Konoha, she said as he nodded, agreeing with her. We understand. You need your time to adjust, said Kakashi as the Konoha 13 was a bit sad that he couldn't come with them. Hinata looked at Naruto and Haku, jumping next to each other, happily jumping together. I know what you're thinking, said Niji as Hinata had a sad look. Is it weird that I feel happy for him and sad? She asked. Nee, Naruto, the girls are a bit tired, so we're going to take a rest. We will catch up later, she said as Naruto couldn't care less. Haku heard what she was saying, feeling a bit of pity well up. They chose this and they had to accept it. They stop at a large tree as Hinata broke down crying. She isn't taking it well, said Tintin to Sakura as she sighs. There. There are plenty of fish in the sea, said Ino, but she cried harder. Is it wrong? Is it wrong that I wish I was her? That I was his wife instead of her? She cried as she was envious of Haku. Haku was the center of his attention, always together if you excluded the babies. Stammers Naruto as she was a bit conflicted to tell her. What do you know? Sakura asked as she pulled them a distance apart. Well, they have been together since the Chunin exams, she explained as this surprised her. Yikes, she said as they returned to see Hinata calm down. Let's get moving. I heard Dad is back and is waiting for us, said Naruto as they nod. They start to jump and soon catch up with the others. Better? Asked Niji as she nodded. Hey Gaki. Jiraiya calls out Naruto as he sighs. What? He asked as this was annoyed at his attitude. He was curious. How were you able to fake your own death? asked Jiraiya as this caught everyone's attention. There are many things I can do, he said vaguely as this annoyed him as Naruto and Haku jumped ahead. He seems to be taking a liking to us, said a sarcastic Tenten as they finally reached the Fire Country and will make it to Konoha in 2 hours. I haven't been this close to that wretched village since Pain. My stomach turns at the thought of going there. He mutters to Haku, who grinned. You picked your poison, drink it, she said in a sing-song tone as he scoffed. You were supposed to support me, not laugh at my pain. Who are you? He mocked glared as she laughed. You finally figured it out? I possessed that woman. I am a 1,000-year-old demon who came to kill you, she said with a sarcastic tone, causing him to laugh. Then, let the babies exorcise you with their cuteness, he said as he took Raiden and hit Suguya as the 3 babies looked at their mom as they seemed to be having fun. My babies have freed me from that evil curse as we lived happily ever after, she concludes, giving Naruto a kiss as he tickled the babies. Talk about good parents, said Tenten as they watched them play to amuse their kids. The girls and Neji glance at Hinata as they see the broken look. Thank Kami we are 1.5 miles away, thought Neji as they soon saw signs of them being close to the village. Finally back home, said Menma as he sped up catching up to Naruto. Haku-san, I want to talk to Naruto. In private, he said as this made her raise an eyebrow as Naruto dropped down with Menma following. Why did you save me? He asked as no he figured out those abilities, and he concluded that he was the mysterious man. I have no idea what you were talking about, he said, feigning ignorance as their eyes both sharpened. I have Kurama, and he can tell lies easily. Want to keep lying? He asked as this impressed Naruto. Seems like he learned to assimilate rather than siphon, he thought as Raiden grabbed Naruto's nose. He gently redirected the small hand to his index finger. I saved you out of pity. Call that my final gift as brother or call it a dumb decision, now that we don't relate to each other. It doesn't matter, he said simply as this shocked him. We are a bit closer, meaning we can walk there, he said as he began walking. They soon arrive at the main gates to see the others waiting. That is Naruto? Thought Minato as he saw Haku, and was pretty shocked to find out she was his wife and they had kids. Welcome Ryujin-sama, I am honored you came to Konoha. This is a big help in our security, said Minato as Naruto stood in front of him. They looked each other dead in the eye as Minato looked away. Do not mistake this as kindness. I am willing to come back to this place for the sake of my family. Even if I have to kill you to keep them safe, I would be more than willing, he said with a sharp look as he turned to Shizen. Where is our temporary housing? The faster we are there, the faster we can pack, he said as she nods hurriedly as she told them to follow her. The family soon enters as Minato soon let out a shaky breath. Are you alright? Asked Kakashi to his sensei. I'll be fine, he said as he soon teleports home. You should all go back home, said Jiraiya. You all need some rest, said Rin as they gnawed leaving. Do you think is taking it worse? The kids or the parents? Asked Jiraiya trying to lighten the mood as Tsunade hit him on the back of his head. Don't joke about these things, shouted Tsunade as he laughs nervously. We see it's in the morning as soon as Haku wakes up. Morning, sweetheart, said Haku as he slowly woke up. Ice flower. I had the weirdest dream. I was back at Konoha, he said tired as he soon realized this wasn't the bed that they slept on before. You figured it out? Or do you want me to tell you? Asked Haku as he groaned. Fuck me, he grumbled as Haku not skipping a beat. Maybe another day, she joked as he scoffed. Alright, let's make some tea before we have to tend to them, she said as he nods, both getting out the bed. So how is your mood, Nero? Asked Haku as he took a sip. Seeing as I'm back at the place that killed me, I'm in a good mood, he said sarcastically as she poured him more tea. There, she comforted him as he sighed. They enjoy peace till they hear a knock on the door. The Hokage seems to want an audience with his estranged son, said Haku dramatically as he rolls his eyes and opened to see him. Namikaze, said Naruto with cold eyes. He internally flinched at the coldness in his voice as he spoke up. Hey Naruto, said Minato nervous as soon Kushina came. Can we talk? She asked as he was annoyed with these people. Why would I want to talk to the people who believe their son would kill his kin for power? He asked coldly as she flinched at the tone that was once humble and calm to cold and dark. "We want to clear some things," said Minato as he scoffed, giving him a fierce glare. "You made the decisions. You knew the rumors, and even if you didn't, that proved you failed me and you village. You never cared about me, because all you ever cared about was fulfilling a vague prophecy that left me with no one. Now you feel guilty for failing someone. You try to fix a bond that has long been broken. Don't say that you want to clear things up. All you are doing is trying to get pity. Maybe in your next life you will take care of your entire family instead of abandoning you son for the others." He shouts as he slammed the door in their face. "You okay?" asked Haku as he took a deep breath. "I'll wake the kids up," he said as she understood that meant he wasn't in the talking mood. "Or I'll get the ingredients for lunch," she said as he waved her off. She leaves, and as expected, they were still there about to leave. "Oh, Mrs. Haku, how's Naruto?" asked Kushina as she simply ignored them. She walked past them, brushing her shoulders against theirs, as in their close proximity, Kushina reached out her hand to stop her. "Yes," she asked in a tone of indifference and indignation. "How is he? What has he done in the past few years? Where was the wedding?" Questions that were swarming her mind as she looked at her disowned son's wife. "I dash. Where are you going?" she asked as she held back the questions of her son. She narrowed her eyes in suspicion as Kushina was unnerved at the calculating gaze of the Ice Nin. "Going to get food for lunch and dinner," she said after seeing no reason not to tell her such a trivial matter. "Well, I can help," Kushina said as Haku turned her towards, causing her to stutter as Minato flinched. She reminds a lot about Kushina back in the days. He thought, sweating at the memory of a younger Kushina glaring at him for helping a random woman with her groceries. I know the best places here." She stumbles on her words, fiddling with her fingers, sweating as she feels the piercingly cold gaze of Haku, as she was expecting a cold rejection. After what seemed to be an eternity of ice-cold eye contact, Haku began to speak. "Very well. As long as it is good quality, I see no problem." A silence covered the three people as Kushina was in shock with Minato, as they believed to receive the same rejection as their attempt to reconnect with their estranged son. "I'll help Lord Hokage. The other Kage needs to discuss plans for the upcoming war," said an Umbu, causing him to curse his luck. "I'm on my way," he said as Haku began walking to the market, as Kushina promptly followed. If everything didn't go so wrong, this would have been normal, he thought sadly as he teleported to the Kage office. "So, what ingredients are you looking for?" asked Kushina as Haku took on a thinking pose as she nodded to herself. "Mainly ox, herbs, spices, flour, and some sweets," she listed as she nodded. "The market here has some fantastic herbs. I used them for a lot of my meals and they came out great," she said as she led her to the stall. "Ah, Lady Kushina, welcome back," said the stall owner as she smiled. "Hello, Shido. I'm here with Haku Ryujin," she said as he smiled, happy to see another customer, and as soon as he saw her, he blushed furiously. A goddess? He thought as he heart pounded with his cheeks burning red. He collected himself and put on a charming look. "Hello, Ms. Ryujin," he said charmingly as she raised a brow. He was by no means ugly. He was a well-built man with broad shoulders who was likely 25 in terms of looks and a charming face he uses for deal-making. "It's Mrs. Ryujin," she corrected as he was soon struck with shock. "This gods is married? You lucky bastard," he thought, cursing him luck and her husband as Kushina cleared her throat to gain his attention. "Can we see you freshest herbs?" she requested as he nodded, moving deeper to the stall soon, returning with a crate. "These are the freshest of all the 5 nations," he said enthusiastically as he placed down the crate, crossing his arms triumphant. "These are subpar at best, but maybe they have some use," she said, inspecting the herbs as she bent forward to take a closer look, causing Shido to blush, seeing the cleavage that escaped her kimono, causing him to curse her husband even more. "Damn, you lucky bastard," he cried out internally as he wanted nothing more than to make her his. "Very well. They are adequate," she concludes, taking specific herbs as he nods. 250 Rio, he said as Kushina reached for her poaching to extract the amount needed to pay as Haku stopped her. "What are you doing?" she asked, confronting her as she stutters. I just thought that Mom, maybe I should pay for this O1. She stutters as the glare she gave. Here, she said, paying the amount as she sealed the herbs and left as she followed quickly. Hey Mom, shouts Naruto as she was with Sakura and Ino as they soon realized that Haku was with her as well. "Uh," said Naruto, shocked that she was present as she looked towards Kushina. Well, I'm waiting, she said impatiently towards Kushina as she nods. I'm coming, she shouts as Haku sighed, annoyed at her inability to stay focused. Mom, you shouldn't keep her waiting, said Naruto as she was scared to ask if she could help with whatever they were doing. Come join us, she said as they were surprised at her request. I don't think we should. I don't care, I just want to finish my list, interrupted Haku as she nods as they joined them on their small journey. They helped out, giving their input on great shops as they attempt to make small talk. So, how's Konoha? Asked Naruto as this annoyed her. It's adequate, she states, bored as she doesn't truly enjoy being at the place that tortured her husband. She doesn't seem to enjoy Konoha, she thought as she heard a scoff. What? You thought she would like this place? Asked Kurama as she sighs. Yeah, I know. We do deserve it, she replied as he sighed at her weakness. You think you will get your brother back by being lazy? He asked as she was frustrated. I want him back. I just don't know how I can connect with him. All he will do is shut us down the moment we try, she replied as he growled. Then use the woman. You can connect with the Haku woman. You have a higher chance at success, he states as she shook her head. You know she would never connect with us, she scoffed as he nods. Then use the Bratz kids, he brainstormed as she was shocked. He will kill us if we get near them, she shouts as he smirks. Then tell Haku. Doubt she would decline free labor and free baby products, he deduced as she thought about it. Why help us, Kurama? We killed him, she asked as he yawned. Naruto hatred for you and this village is justified. Yet even he can tell that he was screwed in that trial. He wasn't betrayed by that verdict. He was betrayed by you not believing him, he said as she was wide eyes. He was never mad about the punishment, but the fact that we didn't try to help him. How could I be so dumb? She thought, smacking herself as she was brought back to reality. Huck, if you need a babysitter, I can do it for free, said Naruto as she raised a brow. Now, why should I trust you with my kids? She asked as Kushina, Ino, and Sakura were shocked at this sudden statement. I want to fix my relationship with my brother. I will help any way I can, she said as she gave a cold glare as Naruto didn't falter. Why are you trying to mend a relationship you ended by killing him? She asked as she looked down. Because we never betrayed him by killing him. We betrayed him by not believing him, she shouts as Haku is shocked at her figuring it out. She looked determined. I should have believed him, and I failed, but I will believe that we can fix things, she said as she stood tall, much to Haku's interest. Her fire is there, much like Naruto's when we were young. She thought as she saw the look in her eyes that said she would do what needed to be done to complete her goal. After much thought and a chilling silence, Haku sighed. Very well. Our anniversary is coming soon, and we have no one to babysit. Usually, we use clones or have my parents watch them, but we need to save chakra for the war. Come by next week, and they are in Mizu, she said, giving up as she knew that one way or another, she would find a way to annoy her to submission. The silence was deafening as Naruto looked ecstatic as Kushina was in shock. Haku soon realized that everything was there, and she went home, leaving the four women alone. We see Haku returning as Naruto was napping with his kids as she sighed. I live with babies. All four of them, she said with a sigh as she went to the kitchen to make lunch. She unsealed the scroll as she began crushing the herbs to a powder and turned the stove on. She hummed a song of a bluebird as she tenderized the meat as well as seasoned the meat. After she placed the meat on the stove, she began making the soup as she swiftly cut down the vegetables. She then grated the herbs in a powder as she sprinkled them in. She soon realized the oil reached the ideal heat and began frying the oxtail. She started adding seasoning as the aroma promptly woke up Naruto as he took a deep breath to get a deeper understanding of the aroma. That is truly a mouth-watering scent, he thought as she looked to see Haku in an apron as he felt an arrow strike his heart. Truly, I tell you, if I lose her, it is when both of us die, he thought as she continued oblivious as she was deep into her work. He soon sat down quietly as he let her continue. Is there room for me as well? He asked as she squealed but glared at her husband. You could have told me. She grumbled as he smiled, causing her to sigh. So, is there more for me? He asked once more as she nodded at the childish nature that he would always express with her. You seem to be in a better mood, she said as he nodded. Yep. After some playing and a little nap, I realized that as long as no one is near my kids, I'll manage, he stated, not knowing the choice that happened earlier with his wife. Well, about that. You know how our anniversary is coming soon? She asked as he nodded. Yeah, the day when I proposed to you at the Frozen Nation, he said as she nodded. Yes, well, since we need to store as much chakra and my parents are busy with all the planning for war and whatnot, I decided to hire a babysitter, she said as he nodded, slowly understanding the importance of this coming war, as well as their anniversary. Okay, I understand. Which of the Mizu are coming to babysit? He asked as she started sweating a bit as she took out the plates for him and her, as well as bowls for their children. Well, the thing is, there is no Mizu coming for 2 months, meaning, she starts as his eyes widen. No, 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 he cried as he hit his head on the table in realization as she placed his plate and patted his back. Please tell me it's Tenten, or better yet, Irika. He cries as she chuckles awkwardly. It's Naruto after constantly telling me she can help, she states as he sulked harder. Please tell me you're joking, he said as she sighed, waking up the babies. Let's try to be optimistic about it. You are getting the Hokage's child to babysit your amazing children, she said as he sighed. Fine, but we have to change plans, he said as she nodded. I'll be ready tomorrow night for date night in Konoha, she said as he nodded as they began eating. Mima, shouts Naruto as him and Minato come down in a hurry to see a beaming Kushina and Naruto. What happened? Asked Minato as Mima nods just as confused. The two women smiled and explained what happened when they were finished. The men were shocked. So you were going to babysit Nissan kids? When? Asked Mima as Naruto then froze. You didn't ask when? He said as she nodded a bit sad. All I know is that it's soon, she said as he sighed at her carelessness. Well, we should be making dinner, it's about getting late, said Kushina with a newborn fire in her eyes as Naruto nods. You think he will forgive us someday? Asked Mima as Minato shook his head. Trust takes time to build, and the only thing we can do is be patient, he said hopefully as he nodded, looking towards the females and their family as they excitedly cooked dinner, something that hadn't happened for a while. Maybe one day he will be here with us again, said Minma as they took their seats. We go to the Hyuga household as Hinata is in her room holding a red scarf. I'm sorry, she muttered with red eyes as she heard the door opening to see Hanabi. Seeing her older sister crying, she came in with a hug, trying to comfort her as Hinata. When she calmed down, Hanabi saw the scarf as it turned a bit aggressive. You should throw that thing you made for Naruto away. That bastard doesn't deserve to be remembered, she said as this seemed to worsen Hinata mentally, but she calmed outside. Hi, it's just that. She starts as Hanabi stopped her. It's time to let go of the past and its decisions and focus on the future, she advised as this simple advice had truth, and she knew it. She stood up, placing the scarf in a small box as she handed it to Hanabi. She smiled kindly as she handed the box to her. Thank you for your kind words. You are right. It's time to move forward, she said as this made her grin. She took the box as she left. Good night, Nasan, she said as she closed the door to see her father. She is better now, but what should I do with this? She asked as he sighed. Put it in storage. That took months for her to make, and it's not our place to dispose of it, even if it was made for scum. He growled that last part as she nodded, agreeing as she left. I still must make arrangements to meet this Ryujin fellow Minato brought. Maybe we can convince him to be a citizen of Konoha, bolstering our strength long term, he said in thought as he went to his office to do his head duties. We see it's early into somewhere in the morning as Naruto and Haku in nice kimonos as Naruto was tying his belt. I'm ready, he said as he turned to Haku to have his heart stopped for a second. She wore a beautiful blue kimono and had done some light makeup, making herself far more beautiful as she had a crescent moon necklace, as she was a bit embarrassed as she hadn't done her makeup in quite a while. Stunning, said Naruto, captivated as she smiled as he saw she was a bit sad. What's wrong? He asked concerned as she turned to him to see a face of worry. I'm not as pretty as others, nor am I as caring as some. So why did you choose me? You could have every woman you want. Yet you chose me, why? She asked, saddened as he led to the bed where he sat with her. You are right in the aspect that I can get any girl I want. He starts as she lowers her head. But you are the only one I need. He finished as she was surprised. You know the darkness of solitude better than any woman I know. You understood far better than others. You were my light in my dark world of solitude when I was younger, and now you are my rock. He said as he gently grabbed her face to look at her. I can get any woman I want, but you are the one I need. Always have been, always will be. He finished as she started crying as he grabbed her gently, as she cried her doubts away, as Naruto assured her there is nothing to worry about. I'm sorry I may have ruined your kimono, she said, realizing that she smudged her makeup on his kimono as he shrugged. How about you drop them off at the Hokage's home while I fox this mess? He said as she nodded, taking off her makeup and dressed casually. She soon sealed the toys and wrote instructions to help with her problematic babies as Mikasa was curious as she waddled to Haku's leg, grabbing the fabric. Mama, she called, curious as she smiled, picking her up and placing her on the table. Yes, Mika, she answered as she put her hand on her cheek, shocking her. There, she repeats like Naruto did when she cried as Haku smiled warmly. Thank you, sweetie, she said as she smiled, happy that she was happy. Now, what about your brothers? She asked as she turned to see Raiden on top of Hitsuguya, as they seemed to be having childish fun much to Haku's amusement. What do I do with you two? She asked as she caught Mikasa after she slipped, causing Haku to sweat drop as Mikasa laughed. I take it back. She sighed at the babies doing baby things. It is truly a gift and a curse. She soon finished packing the things, as she made a clone to carry Mikasa and Hitsuguya as Ryujin was having a grip on her finger that would have turned anyone else's finger blue. Let's get out, she squealed as she saw Raiden biting her finger. I'm not food, she said as he looked curious. Manga, he said as she sighed, forgiving the clueless baby, as she walked to the Hokage's home, as she ignored every man's attempt to talk to her, as she was passing another man. This seemed to not like it, grabbing the back of her kimono. I was talking to you, he growls as she turns to see it was a Uchiha. No, you wanted to flirt. I'm married, she said, dismissing him as the clones and her began to walk away till they heard a sword being unsheathed as the civilians gasped. So she glanced to see him glaring at her with his Sharingan active. I wouldn't like to involve my children in such a childish response to rejection. Could we perhaps save it for a different day? She asked as he glared coldly as she sighed, releasing her chakra in a burst to see the man shocked. Next time, don't play with fire, she said coldly as everyone shivered at the frozen tone as he was in a state of fear under her gaze. Mrs. Ryujin calls Sakura as she turns to see her and the other members of the Konoha 13. Lord Sasuke, said the Uchiha in fear as he saw the glare he gave him as he gulped in fear. Father will be hearing this, he said coldly as he flinched while Haku sighed, turning on her heel as Raiden grabbed her kimono to get her attention. She soon moved his small hand to her finger, causing him to laugh as the clones played with the other two. Such a good mother, said Sakura in awe as Haku soon continued walking as they realized she was walking to Minma and Naruto's home. What is she going there for? Asked Sakura as she knocked on the door, seeing Naruto and Minma exit to grab the kids, as well as two scrolls as they nod, entering the house once again as she left, shocking them. Are they babysitting Haku's kids? Asked Ino in shock as she vanished from their sight, much to Sasuke's shock. They never knew she was that fast. Let's go see if we can help, said Kiba as they nod while Neji glanced at Hinata. You sure you can do it? He asked as she nods half-heartedly. I'll try, she said, nervous as they soon knock on the door. Naruto opens the door slightly to see her friends as she was shocked. Sorry, but we can't hang out today. We are helping a friend, she said nervously as Shikamaru rolls his eyes. Yeah, like Naruto is your friend, he states, causing her to flinch. You know? She asked as Sakura smiled. We saw Hakusen hand her kids to you while we were going to come visit, she said as she laughs nervously, opening the door more to see Raiden holding a table in the air as Menma was trying to get him to let go while Hitsuguya was waddling as each footstep froze the ground, so Kushina was using her adamantine chains to keep him a contained area as Mikasa was laughing on a table as when she fell teleports to a corner to with Minato teleporting to catch her. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed exploring this what if with me. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more videos like this. Your support truly makes a difference, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Until next time, take care and stay tuned for more.